Today, I'm honored to introduce you to Danny Matranga, a husband, new father to a ridiculously cute baby boy, strength coach, nutrition coach, content creator, and massive Harry Potter fan, which I just found out this morning. Danny's incredibly passionate, talented, and has earned my utmost respect. He works tremendously hard to provide free, helpful, and encouraging content to help people lose fat, get stronger, build muscle, and improve their health. This is my first time meeting Danny in person, and I'm blessed to have him here on the show. Danny, welcome to the podcast.
Dude, thanks for having me. I appreciate the gauzy intro that I probably didn't deserve. But
100% deserved.
Very, very, very kind.
So who are you?
I probably, like a lot of people who listen to this, and like you, I am a fitness-focused training enthusiast at my core. I love exercise. I love coaching exercise. I love connecting people with exercise. And from my teenage years, I had a pretty good inclination, I should follow this passion I have for movement, and I want to share it with people who, I could see, like you probably from very early on, movement isn't in people's lives the way it should be. And so I think when people ask who am I answer pretty proudly, I'm a personal trainer, which is uncool to say now in the digital age, but I'm a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer. I stay a personal trainer. I'm proud of helping people connect with their fitness. To your point, I do some stuff online, but it's just a translation of what I'm doing with my clients. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm, a trainer. And I think ultimately I look at myself as I try the best I can to live a life of service for the people I love and the people I can help. And just health and fitness is the way I'm best equipped to do that. So I am a trainer, bro.
Did you face any kickback on that growing up? Hey, this is the career that I want to chase. Was anyone in your life being like, you shouldn't do that?
Absolutely. I remember being in my undergraduate career in college, taking the track to go into physical therapy. But I had already, when I was in my undergrad, had a lot of success, fortunately, with building a clientele. I would spend way more time training my clients than I would at school. I would finish my tests fast and race to the gym to squeeze in another client. And I had a lot of professors be like, personal training is a fun job now, but it's not a real job. That, right? It's not a real job. And I was like,
professors were saying that.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, well, you have a real job and you're obviously so much smarter than I am. And for a while, it kind of wore me down. But this is the case with so many young men. Eventually, it put a chip on my shoulder. And I was like, I'll never forget, I had a one professor. She taught a psychology of sports, which is basically a psychology class for helping athletes perform better and talking about skill acquisition, how you can learn to do a physical task. That was the one that stung, was when she told me you're pretty good at this, but the training thing is not a real long-term option. You should consider really leaning into the academic world. And I was just no, I'm going to prove you wrong, that I can build a decent life for myself doing what I love. And the education here is going to help me do that. But I feel I can be helpful even with this career that you guys don't think of as serious. And I'd like to think I've done that pretty well. It's not perfect, but I'm proud of sticking with it and just following the passion to help people with fitness and not diverging into a more academic track, which could have been fine. But yeah, for sure. Family-wise, no. My family has always supported me.
That's awesome.
And that's very special and that's very cool. And I've had really special people who along the way have believed in me, who have shared my stuff. I have a DM from you in 2018. I asked you, how do you turn a tweet into a post? Because I have stuff that I want to say and it sounds really good when I write it, but because my physique is so average, it doesn't sound as good when I say it. So maybe I can just do this. And you were like, yeah, dude, use Canva. And it sounds stupid, but that one text probably made me an unreasonably large amount of money. For you to just be like, yeah, do this. And then I was like, I'm going to do what he said. And I'm going to put my ideas on the internet. And it worked. But I've never had anybody step in the way of my success. I've always had people jump up and offer to help me. And I've only really had people say, are you sure this is the ceiling for you or what you want to do? But I'm very fortunate to have had a lot of help.
That's awesome. I faced a fair amount of criticism for growing up, and as I got older, similar things. People have a weird association with personal training, not looking at it as a real job. And I take, like you, I take a lot of pride in saying I'm a personal trainer. And that when people ask, what do I do? When I just meet them, personal trainer. I don't say anything about social media, nothing. And you can tell a lot just based on how they treat you from that moment versus if they eventually find out about your social media audience and then something shifts.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot about that person based on if they start treating you differently from personal trainer to
Social media influencer.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Which I think it does say a lot about our world and what we've learned to value or what we've accepted.
Yeah.
And, we put, I think, too much into status. And like, I say this all the time, the best trainers out there you've never even heard of.
Correct.
They're
That's
too busy
exactly
training
right.
people. They're
Yep.
too busy coaching. And the content game is really give and take, man. You don't know what's going to work. You don't know what's not going to work. Sometimes you get rewarded. Sometimes you don't. But there are countless amazing trainers who are making a huge difference with no following. So I would honestly rather be known at like the initial moment I meet someone
Yeah.
for what I do from a contribution standpoint rather than the followers I have for
Agreed.
it. Because that is going to skew the relationship. And
100%.
I don't identify as an influencer either. I have followers because I say stuff, but it was never really my goal.
Yeah.
It almost sometimes makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm sure you say this too, but like, if this all went away tomorrow,
I'd be fine.
My wife would be great. She is great, but my life
Yeah.
would still be great
Yes.
because of my wife, because of my son, because of the fact that I'm a trainer. If you took that away from me, I'd be fucking devastated.
Correct.
But if you took the social media stuff, I go to the gym the next day at 5
Still
a.m.
keep coaching.
And, dude, it's just the way it is.
Yeah. What misconceptions do people have about you?
That's a good question. I would imagine that most people, because of the way I speak, think I'm probably a little bit more calloused and maybe arrogant and maybe mean than I really am. I do think I'm a pretty compassionate and kind person, but sometimes I'll make content that's very direct and has assumptions baked into it, and that can seem calloused and judgmental. And I feel like a lot of young men in the fitness industry are really calloused and judgmental, like, you're fat because you're lazy. And I don't want to be boxed in with that. But I would assume that that is a misconception about me that
Have
people
you
have.
received feedback?
Yeah, for sure. I've had people say like, "Oh my gosh, you're nicer than I thought you would be," or like, or whatever it could be. Things in that vein of like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I thought you would tear me up for asking this question, but like, I honestly want to know, like, what do you think about this fat burner?" Like, I wouldn't waste your money on it. Like, "Oh, cool. I thought you were gonna say I was stupid."
Yeah.
And so I do think that in fitness, so a lot of times when I see something I don't like, I can have a tendency to be judgmental about it. And I would hope that, people don't make the misassumption. But such is life on the internet. You might only get a few chances.
There's also there's so many different aspects in regard to changes in how you speak to people. It's different speaking to someone one-on-one
For sure.
versus speaking to 10 people in a group
Oh, yeah.
versus speaking to 100 people. And the same rule applies to if you're making a post on social media, you're not just speaking to one person, you're speaking to potentially millions of people. And that will change how you decide how you're going to deliver the message to, in your mind, figure out what's going to have the most impact. So I like the way that you speak on social media because it is very direct and blunt. I do think that people often mistake bluntness for rudeness. And I do notice differences between genders as well. Like if a guy is blunt, he's mean. He just doesn't care what you feel. If a woman is blunt, she's a bitch. Right? It's like it is both negative connotations, but I do find it interesting that a lot of people will say, just be blunt with me, just be direct with me. And also,
Are you sure?
are you sure you want that? Are you sure you want? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't think you do because when I am,
It's
all of
hard.
a sudden I'm mean. So it's a very difficult line to tread.
It is. And I have a following that is more female than it is male.
Same.
And so there is a degree of responsibility I have there to, have some trepidation when I handle topics like menopause or postpartum, you name it, because I'll never have that lived experience. And I don't want the bluntness and the arrogance or the directness, whatever you want to call it, to come across as a lack of empathy and understanding. It's just the way I deliver shit. And
Yeah.
like, I feel like I talk that way off the internet, but what is missed is the ability to have these kinds of dialogue. You
Yeah.
can't have that with every comment. And I don't have time for it either. And like
Correct.
sometimes like, whoop, my bad. I'll try again on the next one to be a little softer in the delivery. But, Yeah, I would never want anybody to have this misconception that like bluntness and directness is a lack of genuine
Yes.
care that you succeed with your health.
You're also, with a social media post, you're essentially entering directly into the blunt part of the conversation. Whereas in a one-on-one conversation, there's intros and hey's, how are yous, and you're developing rapport. And then once you get to the blunt part, okay, we've already built up enough rapport. Whereas with social media, you scroll, and you directly enter into the most blunt part of it, which can be a little bit jarring for people.
Extremely.
Yeah. What's something you used to believe but no longer do?
I used to believe that weight loss and fat loss were substantially more tied to discipline and willpower, and that I was morally superior to other people because I was smaller and thinner and had abs. And I would project that onto people because as a young male with no status and no fucking standing in the world, I have something you don't have, which is abs and muscles. And somebody's watching this, you don't have abs and muscles, pussy. I did at the time. And like when you have nothing as an 18-year-old male, which most 18-year-old males have nothing.
Correct.
You need status. So, you know, we do the cars, we do the clothes. I heard you talking to Adam Schaefer about this. The things we do to project our standing in the world with other men, other guys. I thought my physique was like the thing to be proud of. And I should have some moral superiority here because I work out so hard and like I watch my diet. And having become an adult and like learned that there are harder things in the world than having abs, I regret holding a place in my heart where I thought I was better than people who didn't have this, because it just got in the way of me helping a lot of people early in my career. Now it's not uncommon for me to say something like, yeah, dude, the reason I have abs is because like I have a lower food reward than you and I have a super active job and I have the education on how to keep them, and like I'm nothing special. We can find a way to make this work for you. And like you have strengths that I don't have. And like you have barriers that I don't have. And like how much better that's been for helping people than extracting moral superiority from, frankly, something that was always easy for me, which was having low levels of abdominal fat.
Yeah.
Which is really prevalent in our industry. And
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's helped me to just acknowledge like I have some advantages and I'm not better than anyone for those. And in fact, I might be able to, if I can acknowledge that I had it a little easier than some of my clients, it'll make it easier for them.
Yeah. I think, you know, the Biggest Loser documentary recently came out. I didn't watch it just because
It's not really worth watching.
I know exactly what's going to be said, and all the things that we've been saying for the last 10, 15, 20 years. But one thing that when people look at me or you or someone who's fit and they're like, oh, like, especially a personal trainer, they're like, oh, like, why can't I have that? And for me, they're not looking at my body being like, I want to look like that, but often my level of performance.
Sure.
I'll say things very similar to what you said, which is like, listen, this is my job. This is what I do. And number one, we could think about, well, why did I get into this job? I was terrible in school. I was good at working out.
Same.
We gravitate towards the things that we're good at. So I'm already genetically predisposed. What do you
Predisposed.
Predisposed.
You have
Thank
the genetic predisposition for.
Yes, already, right? Not to mention, it's also part of my job, so that me displaying that I'm good at it will help people trust me more. So then I display it more. I spend more time developing it. I also enjoy it. Like I'm really passionate about it. I love it. So I'm going to spend more time doing it. And when we're looking at The Biggest Loser, people will have seen these people lose a lot of weight. It's like, okay, they were in these conditions with money rewards, being televised on national, potentially international television. It's like, of course they were able to make all of this progress because they were put in these completely unrealistic conditions. And in a way, as a coach, and this being your job, it's an unrealistic condition.
Totally.
In which money is a potential reward. Like our business is often driven by either how we look and or how we perform and how people see us, whether they admit to it or not. They'll often look at someone and say, I want to do what you're doing, or I want to look the way you look, and that could drive more business. And it's like, if our business is built around at least in part, how we perform, and it's a huge passion of ours, and the average everyday person isn't going to be able to or necessarily want to spend as much time as we do doing it.
Is a great point. We have a financial incentive.
Yes.
That
correct.
the average person does not have. to your point, we probably both had this kinesthetic learning predisposition.
Yes.
Terrible student in class, not because I'm dumb, not because you're dumb.
I am,
but maybe because like our learning style is what many people would describe as hands-on.
Yeah.
If you show me,
Yes.
I'm going to pick it up. They call that kinesthetic. A lot of trainers, a lot of athletes have that kinesthetic learning style. So let's assume our clients don't. Like maybe they have that traditional, I see it, I read it, I write it.
Yep.
And exercise is kind of awkward. We have the deck stacked in our favor. We have the financial incentives, the learning style. Like my parents were both fairly athletic. I don't know about your parents' athletic.
Mine not at all.
So like that's a huge piece of it too. Like, did you play sports?
Yes.
Okay. So
I was the only one in
how
my
many
family.
of your clients never played a sport?
Most.
Like a lot of them. And so their first introduction to physical fitness is the gym as an overweight adult.
Yeah.
That's not fucking fun.
Correct.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And so like you take somebody who's never done fitness before at all, and they've never done sports. They've never been judged on how their body moves, how their body exercises. And you're like, yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years, 20 years. It's pretty easy. That's like super intimidating.
Yes.
And I think we want to create that. We want to shrink that gap between who we are and the advantages we have and who our clients are and the disadvantages they have so that we can help them be as much or as close to who they want to be as possible without becoming little versions of us. Because that's not reasonable.
Yeah.
They're not going to have the incentive structure that we have, but they need to be healthy and they need to have a reason to do it. And I do think that, maybe I don't know, what motivates you now? It's not what motivated you before.
No, I want to be a great dad and, God willing, granddad and live as long as I can with a high quality of life.
I feel like my motivations are now way more similar to my clients than they ever were. And my clients' motivations never have anywhere come close to matching what my original ones were.
Yeah.
They never wanted to do it for the silly, performative aesthetic reasons I wanted to. It was always something way deeper.
Yeah.
And as I've matured and I've trained so many older adults, I've realized like, wow, my focus and my rationale for being fit is like very hollow, very likely to backfire on me long term. I need to deepen my connection with this so that I can stick with it like my clients who are 70, 80 years old. I have 50 years to go. And how I look ain't going to get me there. What can be this new layer of motivation? And I think family, being around for the people we care about, connecting with that has helped me motivate more people because that is what most people want. They want to be around for the people they care about way more than they want to have abs.
Man, I remember when I was younger and wanted to be super high performing, but also really cared about abs and being shredded and da-da-da. I used to work out so hard, like crazy hard, like just soul leaving my body type hard because that was like so important to me. And now I'm like, I really just want to go on a walk.
Yeah.
And my wife and I talk about this because she trains really hard, and we both still work out hard. We bring intensity to the workouts, but it's different. And sometimes, like most days, we'll just go on like a 30-minute walk, and it's just so enjoyable. And we get back home and we feel so much better. Whereas before, it was like if you didn't feel like you were dying, it was a shit workout. You were a pussy, you were weak, like nothing was accomplished. And I think that shift really came in for when it was like, okay, number one is I want to live as long as I can and have a high quality of life, but also there are so many other more important things throughout the day that I really care about. And if I'm dead and exhausted from this workout that I can't focus on my kids, I can't focus on my clients, I can't focus on my wife, then that workout was detrimental.
100%. Because it's robbing you of your ability to show up in the things that clearly matter more than what you look like, which doesn't become clear until you have those things in your life.
Yes.
And I think when you're young and you don't have those things, it's easy to idolize the aesthetic or maybe the response I get for the aesthetic. But when you have things that enter your life, whether it's kids or a wife, or it could be something traumatic that's more important than what you're focused on, I do think we all get to go like, wait a minute. There's more to this than just killing myself and how I look. I need to have a deeper desire. And on these days where you're like, dude, I go on a 30-minute walk with my wife and I feel fantastic. I would argue that's pretty fucking good for your health, bro.
100%.
I think that's phenomenal for your health because you're outside with someone you love. And there are people who work out 7 days a week who I bet you the best thing they could do for their health is walk with someone they love.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Agreed. So I have a whole section that I've called You Said.
I'm interested in this.
Where I go through various quotes of yours and we talk about them.
What could go wrong?
You woke up and you chose violence when you said, quote, honey, that's not cortisol face, that's calorie face.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, totally. I think that one, I think there's a pervasive industry of women lying to other women in fitness.
Yes.
And I think that because I was a victim of men lying to men, like I used to believe that if I did Jay Cutler's barn door back workout in Muscle and Fitness, I would look like Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 5 years of training I realized all of these guys are omitting telling me that they're on performance enhancing drugs.
Large amounts.
Massive amounts. And I've bought into it. And I see a lot of this cortisol stuff coming from women marketing to other women.
Correct.
And I find that to be quite nefarious and it bothers me. But I also think like if you really understand cortisol physiology, if you really study how the hormone works, it is not an anabolic hormone. It is a catabolic hormone. Too much cortisol will increase your appetite, but it will not make you fat independent of you eating more. And I think that every single human being would love to identify a, singular villain for their health problems or their weight problems. But the likelihood it's cortisol is almost zero, and the likelihood that it's calories for most people is very high. And if you feel like you are swollen and puffy and inflamed from cortisol, I would argue you might be swollen, puffy, and inflamed from body fat. And if you don't believe me, get in a deficit for 2 weeks because a deficit, in theory, would raise your cortisol, given that it is a stressor. But I bet your puffiness goes down. And I do find it to be really agitating because women have a greater hormonal milieu to navigate because of menstruation and because of their physiology, that we're just throwing a new hormone in there for them to stress about that frankly is a diversionary, if you didn't worry about your cortisol and you worried about your calories, all the fucking problems you ascribe to cortisol will go away. I'm almost positive. And if you don't believe me, why is it the case that a cortisol blocking drug was not the solution to obesity and inflammation, but it was a drug that made you fucking stop eating?
Yes.
And so, yes, again, very violent, very, very aggressive, but
I see the anger, but it's passionate.
There
which is
a
good.
passion in me that comes out because I know that baked into this assumption was a woman who was lied to by someone else who was probably a woman looking to make money off her ass. And I hate that.
Yeah.
Because in all likelihood, the number one way to regulate your cortisol is with good diet and exercise, not a supplement. And behind every single one of these cortisols making you fat pieces of content is a cortisol adjusting supplement. And that one turns me off.
Yeah, among many others. But I love the passion. It's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you. It's like, if you're not getting upset about it, I think there's a problem.
I think so too.
Now, younger me definitely ascribed lying to the vast majority of people as I've gotten older, and I see a lot of these posts around cortisol or insulin or whatever it is. I've started to believe the vast majority of them, the people promoting it, they believe it.
I think that is true.
I don't think that they're maliciously lying. I think they've been misled by other people who've either misinterpreted research and or there are some people at the very top who willingly know and are willingly lying. But I think the vast majority of people who are promoting this stuff they truly believe it.
I agree.
Which is an issue in and of itself. But I do think that understanding that most people are not deliberately going out and lying. The issue, however, though, this is sort of steel manning my own argument. When presented with research and science showing them what they're saying is wrong, they block you.
That's your chance, right?
That's
if I'm going to take the burden on of assuming good intent.
Yes.
In a situation where I know you're an internet marketer.
Yep.
I know you've chosen to do internet marketing related to the way women appear.
Yep.
I know you've chosen to do that through supplements. Forgive me for fucking not trusting you. I'm sorry. But last time I fucking checked, people who went out of their way to sell supplements to women are fucking terrible.
Yep.
And they're doing it to make money.
Yep.
They're not doing it because they care about women.
Correct.
I really respect that you can lead with this assumption of purity. And I believe that this person is simply misinformed, and that if I come to them with facts about how cortisol really influences their weight, they may change. This influencer, this creator. To your point, if they respond by blocking you, it's because you're getting in the way of them making money.
Correct. That's exactly
And that is
right.
not somebody who I will give the benefit of the doubt to
Right.
any longer. I also dislike tremendously when people play stupid.
Yes.
Don't act like you didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I fucking know you knew. And like the way I know you knew is because you got a pharmacological cocktail brewing in you that requires an understanding of physiology that is not rudimentary.
Correct.
You're not dumb. You're playing dumb to make money. That I hate.
Agreed.
And I guess I need to be more like you in that I should assume purity, but I've tested the purity and had it come back negative too many times.
Yes, exactly right. And the truth of the matter is, intent matters, obviously, but if you're still promoting this stuff and knowing it, whether you know it or not that it's wrong, it's still an issue. You kill someone voluntarily or involuntarily, you still killed someone. Voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, you're still going to prison, but the sentence might be different based on whether it was deemed that you
100%.
tried to do it or not. So even if you are unknowingly doing it, it's still a big fucking problem,
Yes.
which means that when you have people going out of their way to say, hey, what you're saying is wrong, this is why I think for me, it's not just about saying the truth, it's also about the delivery method of the truth.
Totally.
And so like, maybe it's what I've convinced myself where it's like, hey, I think they're coming from a good place. Let me try and have a really respectful conversation with them, because we know that shaming and guilting people in fitness leads to horrible outcomes. Shaming and guilting people who have opposing views from us is going to have a horrible outcome.
I see it all the time. I see
Yes.
there are two unique sections of the fitness industry right now,
Yes.
maybe more than two.
Two
but there-
big ones.
There do exist inside of fitness some ideological camps that skew gently left and gently right.
Yep.
And they're talking about the same things.
Yep.
I have noticed that they go after each other in perpetuity.
All the time.
In the form of criticism content, critique content. It's not making anybody healthier.
Nope.
And I would love for when somebody's like, this is Paul Saladino. He's fucking wrong about seed oils. Paul Saladino has only doubled down on these takes.
Yes.
And there is a degree to which when some people feel challenged, they actually reject the challenge and they double down on the
Yes.
bad idea. And that I think happens way more than we
Yes.
break through. And so I feel like it's created a really polarized fitness space.
Yep.
And people are afraid to admit that they were wrong.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how wrong have all of us been up until this point? Like, we've learned so much from these GLPs
Yeah.
alone that
Yes.
we had clearly misunderstood about weight loss. So
Yes.
I could be way better about acknowledging when I'm wrong. That's probably another one of those things where you're like, hey, what's something that people probably assume that I hate to be wrong? They're probably right about that one. And I think like there have been times where somebody has DM'd me and said, hey, the way you said that was really callous and it hurt my feelings. And I read that and my initial reaction is, oh, you pussy, come on. But I'm like, no. Take that in,
Yep.
hear that, and it stings, and just own it until it goes away.
Yeah.
Just let it sting. It's okay. You hurt that one person's feelings and you can feel sad about that.
Yep.
And you were wrong. Your commenter told you were wrong and it hurt because they're a little bit right.
Yeah.
It can happen. You can take it, but it is very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay. We're going to take a very sharp turn here.
Okay.
All right. You said your father's been battling Parkinson's disease for over 20 years.
Sure.
Number one, I would like to take this as an opportunity to educate people about Parkinson's. So what does the average person not understand about it?
Yeah.
And how has watching your father's battle influenced your life?
So the first thing the average person does not understand about Parkinson's disease is how common it is. Parkinson's disease is a very common neurodegenerative disease. And frankly, all neurodegenerative disease is very common now because we're not active. We're not taking care of ourselves. We don't care for our brain health. But imagine a spectrum. And we'll call this the spectrum of cognitive decline. And on this side of the spectrum, you have Alzheimer's, which is more of a cognitive issue. And on this side of the spectrum, you have Parkinson's, which is more of a motor issue. Both of these conditions are essentially the brain failing. Like in Alzheimer's, it's the buildup of certain plaques that make it hard to ultimately do what the brain does and you die. Usually it shows up cognitively, and then the parts of the brain that regulate temperature and heart rate fail and people die from Alzheimer's. Parkinson's is super different. It only affects the substantia nigra, the part of the brain that releases dopamine. Might be saying that wrong. Pretty sure I'm not, though. When you stop producing dopamine in that part of your brain, your motor cortex really starts to fail. And one thing that's very difficult about Parkinson's disease is watching somebody you love be stuck inside of their own body. With Parkinson's, you die a prisoner inside of your body. Very likely to have forms of dementia, like Lewy body dementia, but my dad is still sharp as a tack. The only thing that really phases him is he has to be on a massive cocktail of opiates to deal with the pain.
Oh, jeez.
So I would say the number one misconception about Parkinson's is I'm never going to get it. You might fucking get it. And you're probably way more likely to get it now than you were 10 years ago. And we talk a lot about chemicals in the food supply. I get really pissy about that sometimes because what we do know is chemicals in our environment are really linked to illnesses like Parkinson's. And my dad worked on a winery. And if you look at the data between pesticide density in agriculture and the proliferation of Parkinson's disease, you see a huge connection between golf courses, wineries, and agricultural places where pesticides are used and Parkinson's. So I have this scenario where I'm like, I think my dad has a disease that he got from chemical exposure, which bothers me when I see people freaking out about infinitesimally smaller chemical exposure in their kids' fucking fruit snack, but they're not paying any attention to some of the deregulatory stuff that's happening. I think that these things are very common and they could affect all of us, and we should take care of our brain the way we do our strength and our mobility, because it is a shame to lose that faculty and to lose that ability. And you can't always prevent it, but I do think healthy lifestyle can help. And that's the misconception is I'm not going to get it. It won't happen to me.
Yeah.
That's all disease. I think that might be the biggest misconception we all make. I'm going to live to be fucking 100 and it's going to be great and I'm going to be healthy. Bullshit.
Do you remember where you were when you found out that you had Parkinson's?
I do. I was on a trip with my mom. My parents were divorced. I went with my mom and my mom's twin to the San Juan Islands to look at orcas and
That's cool.
That's my favorite animal. I love orcas. And I kind of knew something was going on because I was like, this seems like a really special trip for
They took you there
for
because
me.
of that?
Well, they had been divorced, so my mom took me there. And while I was there, my dad was doing these appointments. And so he was aware. I remember his hand shaking and being like, Dad, why is your hand shaking? I think it's stress. And I think he knew he had Parkinson's. But most people don't get Parkinson's at 50. They get it at 70. And so when I came back, I learned that my dad had this disease and that it was going to really affect his life. And it came in small chunks. At first, it was like, damn, dude, my dad's really dog shit at shooting the basketball now. What's going on? Or like, wow, I just threw him the baseball and he fell over. Or like, wow, I'm trying to, like, I want my dad to race me, but he won't do it anymore. And like, I watched these things slowly leave his life, the ability to do these things, which of course, you want to talk about being a dad. It is hard to watch your hero fall. And that's a huge motivator for me. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want my son to have to watch me fall that way and to fail. But it's also been really powerful to watch my dad fight that disease for 20 plus years, and he's still going. And I think every day, what the fuck are you complaining about? What the hell adversity do you have in your life that is even close to this? It does not even scratch the surface. The things that you get to do that you take for granted that could be taken from you like that, or slowly and painfully, you need to lean into those. You need to appreciate those. You need to share those. There's no doubt in my mind the job I have and do is because I couldn't save my dad. We save the things, the people we cannot save, we often turn that into what we want to save in the world. I believe that is why I'm in this path. But I just disconnected from the illness and the disease. Many people who listen to this have parents. You should spend more time with them because you might assume that they'll live a long time, but maybe 10 to 15 years of that time will be you caring for them. And that's a very different relationship. And it helps to get the most out of the time you have, because being a caretaker for your parent is an interesting role and it does change the dynamic, but it deepens the love. But like, these are very real challenges. And I think that many Americans will face them with their parents, especially our generation, like 30 to 40. They're going to be in a sandwich generation where they have kids and they have failing parents. And a lot of them will struggle with things like Parkinson's. So let's hope for better therapeutics, but right now it's pretty bleak.
Do your son and father love hanging out together?
They do. It's really cool. Like my dad, when I grew up with my dad, we had a garden at the house. And I grew up on like a 5-acre vineyard. My dad
Oh, wow.
slaved to take care of that vineyard. I
That's
worked with
awesome.
him every day. He lost that in 2008 because he couldn't work because of the Parkinson's. So watching all of these things get pulled out, I was blown away the other day when I took my son. My dad lives in a really nice facility in Marin County, and they have a beautiful outdoor garden. And my dad and my son were playing in this garden, and I just said, holy fucking shit. I never thought my dad would have a garden again. It's not his garden. It's
Yeah.
a community garden.
Yeah.
But I just looked at him. I was like, dude, you're playing with my son in the garden. Like, we used to do this. And like, I never thought we'd get an extra generation out of it. And it was so special.
That's amazing.
And I was like, this is like one of those moments that I would have never had if not for complete randomness of like meeting my wife and having a baby, like the beauty of the randomness of it all. But I was like, wow, I used to putz around in the garden in my diaper with my dad 30 years ago. And here's my son doing it exactly the same way. And my dad had that same look.
I love that.
And I was like, man, that almost didn't happen. But like all the suffering and the challenges, I was like, dude, I think it was worth it. You know, like here we are, you're in the garden with your grandson. It could have been at the home that we had that we lost, but it's here and it's good enough.
Yeah. How'd you meet your wife?
At the gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, totally. I saw her at the gym walking on the treadmill and I was like, oh my God, dude, that's wow. And I had this clipboard. I had just got hired at 24-Hour Fitness. I had a retainer on my teeth.
No way.
Yeah, these 2 teeth are fake. So at the time, I just had a retainer with 2 fake teeth on them. I don't have the Jordan Syatt amazing smile. But like, I imagine coconut hair, 18, pimples. I've never had another job. And the guy at 24-Hour Fitness is like, okay, when you're not folding towels, walk around and ask people what they're working out today. And if they say, I don't know, tell them like, I'll take you through a free workout and try to sell them some training. I was like, all right, easy enough. I literally just walk around and talk to anyone that wasn't my wife. I was so fucking nervous. And I would walk like behind her treadmill and like around, and like she saw me and I saw her. I was not sly, but I was way too afraid to ever say anything. And she came and went to that same gym for like 2 years. And I just quietly...
You said nothing for 2 years?
For 2 years. And then one day she went to the office because she was being harassed by a member and canceled her membership. And I watched her go in the office. And like after she left, I was like, dude, that's my gym crush. What did she want? And he was like, she's canceling her membership because some guy's like following her around. Not me. And I was like, no, she's gone. I'm never going to see her again. And like maybe like 2 or 3 years later. And at this point I was actually in a...
So you didn't run out after?
No, didn't run out after. I was like, well, you know, missed my shot. Never going to see her again. And years go by. I'm in a different relationship. You know, when you're young, you get in and out of relationships. And at some point in that time, my buddy was like, hey, there's this girl that like thinks you're cute. And I was like, okay, lay it on me. And he shows me a picture of her. I was like, bro, that's her. That's the gym crush I had. What happened to her? Where did she go? He's like, I don't know, but she's friends with like a mutual. And I like just worked up the courage like over time to DM
Even
her.
that wasn't enough?
I am not the most I really took pride in not approaching women in the gym that I worked at. And I was like, I'm not going to jeopardize my job over this. But yeah, dude, like it was probably like a 4 or 5 year long thing of me waiting to like DM her.
Wait, so how did your friend know?
He liked her friend. And she and him were already talking.
Okay.
And she's like, my friend thinks your friend's cute. And I was like, well, that's cool. Who's her friend? No way. Oh God. Okay. So I shot my shot via the DM slide, which is very normal for my generation. And one date at a time, just going quite slowly, getting to know each other. I think both of us having a little bit more wisdom when we met than like if we met when I saw her at the gym. Very good thing. I doubt it would have worked if I just walked right up to the treadmill and was like, what are you working out today? You know? But like this classical, I saw this girl at the gym thing, which a lot of trainers probably met their wife at the gym, but not in the classical way. I just learned about her at the gym and I knew I always wanted to try. And like after years of going in and out of relationships, when I was mentally and emotionally at a spot where I was like, you know, if I take a shot, I don't, want to miss because I might only get one shot. So I was like, I'm in a good spot right now. Let's do this. And it worked out. We went on our first date. We talked for like 4 or 5 hours.
That's awesome.
Subsequent 2 years dating and got engaged, and now we have a baby.
How'd you propose?
I proposed in Hawaii at this badass waterfall called Akaka Falls.
Okay.
It's a huge waterfall in the lush jungle on the big island of Hawaii. And I was going to do it on the beach, but my wife was like, I don't want to walk on the beach. It's really slanted. And I was like, you're fucking killing me. Because I had this ring burning a hole in my pocket. And it's literally a huge box.
Yes,
so I'm like,
yeah.
this is not even like hidden.
Did she know?
She said she didn't know. And I was like, she totally knows and she doesn't want to get married. I'm like, let's go walk on the beach. It's slanted. Let's go walk on the beach. Come on. No, I'd like, well, maybe tomorrow. So I'm like, fuck it. We're going to the jungle. We're going to switch it up. And so I drove us to the complete other side of the island, and it was pissing rain. And this waterfall is exquisite. It's the tallest waterfall in the United States, I think,
wow.
other than Niagara Falls. And it drops into this big jungle. And you walk up these stairs to see it, like the last little bit. And like she's 10 stairs in front of me, and I'm hella shaking. If I drop this thing, it is never gonna be fucking seen again. Tarzan couldn't find it. It is lost to the jungle forever. And I'm like shaking like a leaf. She starts to get down from the top of the stairs onto the landing, and I'm like looking down at the graded metal walkway. There's more holes than there is metal, and I'm just like, this is it. This is my chance. And I was like, I got on one knee, and she looked at the waterfall and turned around and like screamed and said yes. And I was like very nervous. And I really worked hard with like 2 hands to put that ring on, because I thought for sure this thing's going to fall.
Yeah.
And like, but it worked and it was cool. And I don't know, man. Like I really love nature. I just thought it was a special place to do it. And like, I'm not Hawaiian, but my dad took me to Hawaii all the time. So I do have a special connection with that place. And it felt cool to like make that commitment to someone I love in a place where the beauty is like completely around you. Like that.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing, man.
It's cool.
So in the spirit of talking about relationships, you said to anyone in a relationship, if your spouse is trying to lose weight, eat healthier, or get in shape, support or join them. What do you think is the best way to do that?
I honestly think the best way to do it that takes like no energy or time is encouragement and validation and recognition. Mm-hmm. I see you doing that thing. I'm proud of you. Is like unbelievably helpful. And I've learned from my clients that a lot of their spouses do not do that. And of course, you probably learned from your clients that you are the greatest support system and you are the greatest cheerleader for a lot of them. And I'm disappointed when I hear that. I'm like, wait a minute, your husband isn't proud of you? He's not cheering you on? A lot of times there's jealousy or envy, or there can be a fracture between people when somebody's like, I want to take control of my health and you're not helping me. And I do think for a lot of people, the number one saboteur on their fitness journey is their significant other who might feel intimidated or insecure. And I think it's like one of the greatest gifts you can get from your partner is just knowing that they believe in you and they're supporting you in a world that like is so quick to slam you. And like we both know, weight loss, changing your health is a up and down process. And when you're down, it's easy to quit. And I would just say if you are either more in shape than your partner who's looking to get in shape, or you're not in shape at all and your partner's looking to get in shape, you have the same responsibility to support them because they're doing something really fucking hard. They're trying to change their identity. And like you would support them if they did a career change. You would support them if they did something analogous to a career change. You should support them when they try to change their health. And if you don't, their failure rate will go way the fuck up. And like, I hate to say it, you will be somewhat responsible for that. And it will affect your relationship. Maybe you don't want to admit it, but it will. If your partner says my health is a problem and you don't support them, what if their health becomes a bigger problem? There will be resentment. And I really just think like when you make a commitment to somebody to be there with them in life and journey through life together, that implies that you're going to live a long, healthy life. And if one person's not on board with that, that can really hamper a relationship and it can kill a marriage. A lot of people not only leave a marriage because their partner doesn't support them, they might die from being out of shape. And like, I have many clients who are in their 70s who were widowed in their 60s by a partner who just died 50 to 60 years old because they didn't take care of themselves. And if you won't do it for you, you better encourage them when they try to do it for them, because you just can't be a double negative. You can't be a non-participant and a negative.
Yeah.
Like, that's such bullshit, man. Like, you try to succeed in your relationship when the other person's not interested in the thing you're doing and actively sabotaging it. They would kill your partner, could kill your business. They could kill anything they wanted if they double negatived you. They could also be the number one reason you succeed. And I would way rather be that than the alternative.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's super well said. One of the more common things that I see with spouses, partners, whatever, is when one person decides, hey, I want to start focusing on my health, eating better, like dedicating time to work out, the saboteur, the one, will be like, oh, you're not fun anymore. Like, this was our time to hang out. And a lot of it comes in the form of guilt. Yeah. It comes in the form of like, what happened? Like, and they make the person feel guilty and shame for wanting to dedicate this time to it. And that's where I think, yes, absolutely support, and make this time where you can then join them. So you're still together. Like, start eating those same foods. Start making that time to go on a walk, to get a workout in together. The other thing that I see is, and this is actually what I see more from people who are already fit being the saboteur, which is interesting. I've seen people, someone in, like, their spouse wants to make a change, and they say that whatever it is they're doing is just stupid.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
It's like, that doesn't work. Like, walking is stupid, or this exercise is stupid, or that food's going to make you fat. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't have to, if you're already fit and you're good with not working out together, fine. But actively going out of your way to just shit on everything that they do, bro, that one infuriates me, maybe even more than the other one.
I think I have a layer deeper that's even more infuriating. Yeah. It's totally in the same vein. And it is reminding your partner, in this scenario, you're the fitter partner.
Yep.
And you're going to remind them of all the times they've already failed.
Oh my God.
How is this going to be different from when you did keto?
Yes.
How is this going to be different from when you did F45? You know what I love when I'm about to do something new and intimidating? I love to be reminded of all the times I fucking failed at it already.
Yes.
It's super helpful. You know, when I'm, oh, great. Thank you for telling me that.
Yes.
Now that I remember when I fucked up keto and fucked up CrossFit, that I am a failure. And it's just so helpful for you to pin that on me. I see that all the time. Yes. And I'm just like, dude, that is the worst thing you could do, is remind someone of all the times they've already failed. You could literally flip that and be like, I'm proud of you. This is so great. You're going to build on that momentum from, remember when you did the keto and you got a little progress there? We're going to build on that. Yeah. It's so different than, oh yeah, well, remember you failed before, so have fun. That is never a good thing. Like, you probably would not, like, imagine, we talked sports, but like, imagine like your quarterback comes back to the huddle and you're like, all right, buddy, we're going to run that same play. Remember last time we ran it, you threw that horrible interception that fucked up the whole game? Yeah, don't do that again. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, no pressure. No pressure. We put this pressure on people when we remind them that they failed, and it honestly makes them not want to try again. Because I don't want to be seen as a failure to the people around me. And what a judgmental place to come from. Oh, by the way, I've watched you fail. And I've held on to it all this time. And I've judged you for it. And I remember that you failed. And dude, that happens a lot.
Constantly.
And I think we just need to be like, yep, try whatever the fuck you want. Even though I don't think it's optimal, to your point, like walking and low carb, bro. Why don't you just lift and eat high protein and fiber? Like, it's so simple.
Yes.
Maybe they get there, but they won't get there if you poo-poo on what they're willing to try. You have to just be like radical acceptance of any positive inertia.
This was a good one. You ready?
Yep.
You said, and I quote, "A blue whale's anus can stretch to over 3 feet.
Substantial.
Making it the second largest asshole on the planet, just behind wellness influencers who tell you fruit makes you fat."
Yeah,
it's a hell of a visual.
Yeah, well, cetaceans, the large marine mammals that, whales are in this family, that was my original career path. I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Really?
But I get horrible motion sickness.
Oh, that wouldn't work.
So I can't do that. I can't do the boat thing. So I was like, okay, well,
Is that something you can develop over time?
Like, can you get through it? I
Yeah,
think if I
like, can
spent
you-
adequate time on like a fishing vessel, I
Yeah.
would become like a grizzled sailor who's not affected by any of it. Like, I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
But oh my God, it's so bad. But I do love whales, and like that's a funny spin on a quote I've seen before. But like the whole point is like you have to be quite the asshole to tell people in a country where 70% of adults are overweight and 91% don't eat enough fiber that fruits and vegetables are the problem. That is a hilariously idiotic thing to say in public. It's actually a dangerous thing, I would say.
Yes.
I know I don't want to be the misinformation kills. I get it. But like
I think it's dangerous.
if you walked in a room with 100 fucking people in it, 91 of them wouldn't eat enough vegetables. That might be the principal nutritional problem driving obesity. Go eat your 4 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Your diet will be easier. You will be fuller. You'll release natural GLP-1, obviously not in the dosages that are administered, but like maybe like maybe the best advice in fitness is eat more fruits and vegetables, even though it's like your mom's advice. So whenever I see somebody spitting anti-nutrients or the sugar in fruit, I'm just immediately compelled to think I'm dealing with a charlatan, because only a complete moron or a blissfully ignorant marketer would say something this silly to almost add confusion.
Yes.
Because people are like, I heard fruit is bad. They always say that from a place of like deep confusion. And I think the last thing we need is people like deliberately causing confusion. And I've trained a lot of people. I've never met a single one who was eating too much fruit.
Ever.
And so I just think, yeah, it takes us a concerted type of dickbag to go on the internet and be like, yeah, it's fruits and vegetables, buy my carnivore pills.
Yes.
Fuck off. I hate that. It's kind of like the cortisol thing, man. I truly believe that the people that say that know that they're lying.
Yeah.
And I think that some of them don't. But like every carnivore is now animal based, which is the phoniest pivot to just eating fruit.
Correct.
And I'm like, wow, what an amazing way to rebrand being an omnivore in a disingenuous way that benefits you financially.
Yes.
Like, why don't you just say you eat both and be honest?
And say,
like,
oh,
and
by
you
the
probably
way,
always ate both. The camera just wasn't on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like that. It might be one of those like I have an axe to grind about it things. I just can't let it go, but I don't like that piece of advice. And I see it still. And it's people always comment, who's telling people fruit's bad for you? I'm like, you would be shocked how many people say this. You don't see it, but I see it. And like a lot of overweight, unhealthy people see it.
All the time. And people are like, no one is saying that. I'm like, people say it all the time. And even more than me just seeing the posts about it is when clients, inner circle members are like, hey, I saw this post, I'm a little bit concerned. The number of people I work with who directly ask me about it, it's fucking infuriating when people say no one is saying that. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm not making this up. I would rather not make this content about fruit.
Yeah. Do you know how desperately bad I never want to correct someone
how obnoxious this is for me
again?
to make this fucking content? I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
yeah.
It's also the other one that's I think equally as infuriating is oatmeal.
Oh, it's peasant food. Haven't you heard?
Dude.
It's low
Dave
tier.
Asprey said that? Yeah, it's peasant.
I thought it was pronounced ass spray, as in 2 syllables.
I don't know.
I like ass spray better because everything that comes out of his mouth might well be ass spray. But like, yeah, hot take. I don't really want my oatmeal advice from a guy who's big on urine therapy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's big on a lot of weird shit.
Does he drink his own urine?
I don't know if he drinks it. I actually think he injects it. Maybe
Stop.
we could. Well, we'll see. We can look it up. But I do believe Dave Asprey is a regular proponent of urine therapy.
Wait, hold on. Urine therapy implies injecting his own urine?
I don't know if it's injecting or ingesting, but it is absolutely the consumption and reintroduction of urine to the bodily supply for reasons.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up.
I need to Google this real
Please
quick.
Google this while I go on a diatribe about why I think oatmeal is a completely adequate carbohydrate.
All right, please talk about it.
It's incredibly cheap. Anybody could make it. You could add fruit to it. You could add protein to it. You could add yogurt to it. It is a phenomenal starch that will allow you to easily fuel your workouts, and I think it provides satiety that very few starches do. You eat a cup of oatmeal, you will feel like a fullness that is substantial. It hits your stomach like a bomb. And whenever I see somebody shitting on these highly practical, versatile foods that help people stay full, to again promote things like bulletproof coffee, urine therapy, etc. It's a little corny. Did you find it?
Bro, he's literally injecting urine
I told you.
into his muscle.
Ah, yes, the old intramuscular piss injection.
This
Long
is-
known in health circles to be incredibly good for you. Not. I wasn't making it up, man. I wish I was. And we could talk probably for 24 hours straight about what I think about some of the more woo-woo health stuff, but this is a titan of the wellness space who is constantly recommending new and kind of never before seen interventions that might not work. But all the while he's shitting on oatmeal, which I think is kind of frustrating because it is a totally fine food and it might be like a top 5 starch for weight loss.
Dude, this guy's injecting
you're locked in on
urine
Yeah.
into his muscle.
Yeah.
He's taking his urine, filling a syringe with it, sticking it into his body, and injecting urine. Mitch, do you hear this?
This is the guy who put butter in coffee because it made it better and made a product of it. So piss going into your muscles is about as useful
this
as
is my
butter
first crash
going
out
into
on the podcast.
I'm seeing this has truly changed your entire mental state and focus. You're having like a physical reaction to this.
I don't know what to say. This is fucking wild that he has a huge audience and people are listening to him.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason he has a huge audience is because he says things like you should inject yourself with piss. Because weirdly enough, in America right now, the more absurd shit you say about health, the better it's going to go for you.
Oh my gosh, I'm nauseous.
Me too, but it's from the coffee.
We have to clarify, not my coffee.
No,
I've got good coffee.
I went to Armor Coffee today
Okay.
and got a cold brew because I can't. My tummy, I have the baby tummy now. I used to drink like 5 espresso shots a day. Now, when someone puts one in the machine, I feel it. I just smell it. But the colder brewed coffees have a little less acidity, so I'm okay with those.
Okay, all right. Oh man, all right. So we're gonna move on. Anyway, fruit and oatmeal are great, and the
Fruit, oatmeal, we love. Piss therapy, not so sure.
not a great idea. Wow, I'm gonna throw up. That's so gross. Okay, here's another thing you said. I like this one. You said, quote, your coffee isn't 400 calories and it's not messing with your hormones. Your coffee is 0 calories and the excessive sugar and fat is what, quote, messed with your hormones.
Yeah.
Explain.
This kind of plays off that cortisol thing. I've seen a lot of people say, hey, coffee really screws up your cortisol.
Yeah.
Because caffeine works in part because it binds to these receptors in the brain that oftentimes accumulate something called adenosine and make us tired. But the other way it works is by stimulating the adrenals to release stress hormone that gives you a little jolt. And the theory behind coffee haters and cortisol is like every morning you drink that coffee, you're further stressing your body and now you're in a cortisol trap. And that is why you're fat. And I'm like, I think it's because the pumpkin spice latte is 390 fucking calories. And you have one every day and you sneak a pastry in there that you don't even count.
Yep.
And like, if you have studied like the traditional medicinal beverages of the ancient cultures, like coffee and tea and yerba mate, these things have been drinking medicinally for a long time. And not only are a lot of them health promoting and energy giving and like culturally like ubiquitous all over the world, they're not correlated with obesity. And they sure seem to be correlated with obesity here. And it's because we drink lattes. We don't really drink coffee. And like the average American consumes 140 calories a day from sugar sweetened beverages, which I think is like an easy number to remember because a 12-ounce soda has exactly 140 calories. I think like 50% of Americans have 150 calories a day from their coffee.
Yeah.
I bet you it's an absurdly high number. People don't really drink black coffee anymore.
Yeah.
Like I had coffee with Derek and we both drank a black coffee. I was like, no one does that. It's not that common. And so I truly believe like most of what people ascribe to coffee's negative health benefits are coming from the precipitous unnecessary calories in their essentially sweetened beverage that has a base of coffee.
Yeah. It's not really coffee.
No, it's a milkshake that's caffeinated.
Yeah.
And like, I don't say that from a place of judgment.
No,
I'm like, dude, if that's how you caffeinate, like rock on.
Great.
But you are getting the same amount of caffeine and the same amount of calories that is in like a 32-ounce Coke. That's all I want you to know. You're drinking a 32-ounce Coke. And again, what people really fuck up on the coffee thing, it's not the sugar calories. It's the fat calories.
Yeah.
There's so many calories from fucking fat.
Yep.
I mean, if you got like low fat stuff, it really does make a difference.
Huge difference.
These
Yeah.
are cream and dairy based calorie bombs.
They put a cheesecake in their coffee. And they're like, I think it's the
a
coffee.
slice
It's
of
like,
cheesecake.
No, it's the cheesecake.
It's probably almost similar macros.
Yes.
Like it's like a slice of cheesecake. And again, the coffee contributed 0.
Yeah. Yes. It's and again, if you're tracking those calories or aware of them, amazing. That's fine. But don't blame the coffee for the cheesecake.
Totally. And I would say like the average American after brushing their teeth, the second most common morning habit is a high calorie coffee.
Yes.
Like it's like most Americans are going to wake up, probably 100% pee, and then 95% brush their teeth, gross, and then like 80% get a high calorie coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we talk all the time about big habits to add. One of the big ones to drop would be housing multiple hundreds of vanishing caloric density, 0 satiety liquid calories.
Yes.
Horrible way to start the day for weight loss, even if it does bring you enjoyment.
It's so funny. People are, if you offered the average person like, oh, you just woke up and brushed your teeth, do you want a slice of cake? Most people would be like,
gross.
no.
Not ready
but
for that.
They basically have like, I'll have liquid cake though.
Oh, that's too heavy right now. I haven't started my day. Let me have the 390 calorie latte.
Okay. This was a great one. You said, you made it easy. You have a lot of great quotes. You said, if you have a diet that looks like it was curated by a toddler, you'll probably end up with the body composition of a toddler. Everything you eat doesn't have to taste amazing. Explain.
Yeah, so I heard, I don't even remember what podcast it was. It was probably like 15 years ago, like the infancy of podcasting. I was young, driving from where I live now to my hometown. And this guy was bitching. He's like, my kid won't eat anything that isn't yummy. Everything has to be yummy. He said, that's not nummy. That's not nummy. I don't want it. And I was like, oh my God. Adults do that. Adults only want pleasure from food.
Yeah.
Like they're seeking pleasure. They're seeking yummy. Everything they eat has to be tasty and yummy. Like a decently tasty salad with a piece of salmon on top is not as yummy as like a mega sushi salmon roll with tons of added sweetness and sugar and fat. And we, I believe, as a culture, have turned to food not only to cope with stress, but also to add like a substantial amount of dopamine and like just straight up pleasure to our lives.
Yeah.
And I think like being exclusively using food as a pleasure seeking tool and not as a nourishing tool and not as like an opportunity to give your body what it needs is in many ways how children eat. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're teaching my son how to eat. It's fucking hilarious how cool he is with eating unprocessed single ingredient foods. Dude eats tomato. I cut the tomato off the vine. He puts it in his mouth. He eats it. Turkey patties with like lime and lemon and orange in them just so he can have vitamin C. It's like the whole diet is almost manufactured for nutrient density. Taste doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And he eats it. And I'm like, well,
Does
that's
he like
weird.
avocado?
Yeah, he loves avocado,
Yeah,
especially like frozen in this like tooth thing that he can chew on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just watching this and I'm like, at some point in his life, he'll be introduced to an ultra processed, hyper palatable food that will spike his dopamine like crazy. But right now, he feels tremendous reward, satiety, and nutrient, like he's receiving them from a normal whole foods diet. All of us will have that change as we enter the real world. And I think our goal needs to be like, or not necessarily our goal, but we need to carry with us the mentality that, okay, if every meal I eat, I'm optimizing for taste, my health and my body composition will likely be quite bad unless I have incredible genetics and a uniquely active lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Like you have to take like a moment to pause in the day and be like, has anything I eaten today nourished me? Mm-hmm. Or has it all just delivered dopamine? And most of what we get from our food is dopamine. Mm-hmm. Very little of us are getting nutrition. Said this too, like the amount of malnourished, obese people in America is astounding. Like we are all getting too much energy, but most of us aren't getting enough nutrients. Mm-hmm. And I think the just pedal to the metal, yummy, nummy food life is like, God, I'm pretty sure that's why 70% of Americans are overweight, because a lot of us are using food for pleasure.
Mm-hmm. And I completely agree. I'm actually like, I love everything you just said. I also think, listen, there's nothing wrong with using food for pleasure sometimes.
100%.
But the key being it shouldn't be every time or all the time or most of the time. It should be some of the time. And when you do it some of the time, it should be guilt-free.
Totally.
But it's some of the time. And I feel like adults do this with everything. Adults are just bigger children, I've realized.
Clearly.
They're like, I don't want to work out. It's like, neither do I.
It sounds like the guy at the hotel I stayed at this morning. 30 minutes at the front desk talking to the gentleman about why he didn't want to work out. And I was convinced that I would change that in the 30 minutes I had before my Uber showed up. And I want to get rid of my belly fat, but I don't want to work out. And I was like, bro, that is a very childlike response.
I really don't want to do my homework. I don't give a shit. Do your fucking homework. It's like,
these are the choices that we make. Life is a series of trade-offs, and it sounds very corny and cliche, but like the hard work that you do not want to do is likely the most important work you can be doing. And for so many of us, that's temperance around food and engagement with challenging physical tasks, which is so hard in a world where we're overwhelmed by modernity. But like, if you do not accept the fucking challenge of physical demand now, you will be overwhelmed by the burden of physical decline later. I know that. Not only because I've seen it, but because I see it every time I go visit my dad. Every single one of those older people is in a failing body, and not because of something they can control anymore. But I think so many of us just cast our body off to fail because it's all about, I get comfort from food and I avoid the discomfort of exercise. Play that out over decades. It doesn't work.
You told me via DM you wanted to talk about Serena Williams taking a GLP-1 and all of the subsequent backlash.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about your backlash, if you would call it that. I noticed that you got a lot of frustration when you shared a completely voluntary, educated choice to engage with a very effective pharmaceutical. And I understand why you got the I almost called it lashback, but I understand why you got the blowback and why people lashed out.
You do understand?
I feel like I do.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is my take.
Okay.
I think there is a huge percentage of the country, let's say it's 40%, who believe that the health problems caused by modernity simply cannot be solved by modernity.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is we're fat because of science and technology and food. I know science and technology and food isn't going to fix it. Like, these are nefarious compounds. I do not trust the pharmaceutical manufacturers who make them. The way that you get healthy is by going back to the way it used to be. Ditch all of the modernity, no drugs. These can't be good. These people made opiates. How could you put that in your body? It's an unknown modern substance. There just exists a worldview for a lot of people where leaning into science is problematic. And I would say very few people, probably less than 1/1,000,000% of people know more than you do about exercise and weight loss. So you're in a position to make an incredibly educated guess on whether or not these compounds are right for you. I'm sure you made the right choice. But like, I think it's silly to lean away from them and to not lean into this new science, because part of the obesity crisis we have is an issue of modernity. We're not going to solve it with the tools of the fucking past. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I know that it won't work because I've been using the tools of the past for 10 fucking years, and it's harder. And I just think a lot of people probably saw that and were like, wow, I expected him to lean into the ways it used to be. And instead of doing that, he went a different direction, and it surprised me, and I didn't like that. And I don't like when people do what I don't expect them to do.
So that's what I expected. That's what I thought the anger and the backlash was going to be.
Interesting.
Now, we were talking about the different camps of the fitness industry and how we have like it's pretty easy to tell where someone is politically based on their fitness stuff. It's actually really interesting, like carnivore, MAGA.
Carnivore coach fucking 100% MAGA. It's not even funny.
Yes.
It's actually hilarious.
And vegan is
the carnivore almost exists because it's an antithetical nutritional movement for men who are sick of being slammed on by vegans. And it's like, it is kind of funny that like a disproportionate amount of liberal vegan women on Twitter ostensibly created the carnivore diet
Yeah.
by pissing
Yeah,
off
it
a
is.
bunch of low
That's
T
ironic.
angry men
Yeah.
who have now identified with this diet as a literal counterfactual to the existence of veganism.
Yes.
I genuinely think if veganism didn't exist, carnivorism wouldn't either.
I completely agree.
It is an ideological like revolt.
Yes.
And it's if that's how you want to play with your health like that, go for it. But the coding of nutrition and politics
Yes.
is hilariously over and entertaining.
Yes. So I expected the backlash to be from the right,
The Mahas.
from the people who are typically anti-big pharma and like anti.
Sure. And that all switched during the pandemic. It is so important to note that
Yeah.
the general predisposition of I do not trust big pharma, I do not trust vaccine science, I do not trust this. Those used to be ideological strongholds of the left. I went to a Waldorf school growing up, which is a very hippy dippy liberal arts, like puppet making, woodworking, beeswax, painting school. Every kid was unvaccinated. When you get to COVID, we see this huge distrust in the institutions and in science. And honestly, the kind of roles flipped. You'll see more people on the left supporting pharmaceutical advancement and way more people on the right who are anti.
Yeah.
And that totally happened in fitness. Fitness flipped too, because
Yes.
you close someone's gym, guess what? That's a problem.
That's a big fucking problem.
And that's going to shape how they look at the world.
Yeah.
And it's going to change their politics. And fitness and nutrition have weirdly been in the epicenter of our body
Dude.
politic in a way that they never were.
Ever. It's super interesting. But so I expected more far right backlash. I got next to none.
Interesting.
I got actually, to be fully honest, I can't think of a single person who came at me and said, I can't believe you're doing this, like you're injecting poison in yourself. I got zero backlash from that. The backlash came from the left.
In that they were saying what?
Well, so there were a couple issues. First and foremost, there was this one individual in particular who was coming at me and kept changing the goalposts.
Yeah, I hate that.
And every time, I'm not going to say who it is. I don't even want to send them
Don't
nothing.
put that energy
But
into the world.
every time she said why she was upset about it, people would say, or I would say, or other people, because I didn't want to engage with her, would say, well, that's not accurate, and that's not a valid criticism because of X, Y, and Z, and then she would change it. The one common anger that people had was that, well, you're taking away medication from people who need it.
Wow.
However, this doesn't hold water because I'm taking a compounded version.
That's crazy to me that the number one objection you got was like, dude, why didn't you just save it for an obese person?
Yes, which
okay.
for whatever it's worth, you have the standard pharmaceutical ones, and then you have the compounded versions.
Yeah, and the standard pharmaceutical ones you wouldn't be approved for, if I'm not mistaken.
I probably wouldn't be approved for it, and they're number one, infinitely more expensive.
Yes.
And so compounded versions, and I don't know how much you know about the patenting world and how this works in big pharma, but it's like the FDA will approve compounded versions when there are shortages.
Yeah, we actually have seen this with Ozempic already.
Yeah, we have
that
already.
It was basically given a regulatory pass because obesity is a
Exactly.
legitimate crisis and we can't make it fast enough.
So I'm taking compounded. I'm not taking it from anybody. And I think a lot of what I actually think is going on is there weren't legitimate issues with me taking it. I think that the issues stemmed from, I'm only saying this because there were people on this person's team who were DMing me behind the scenes saying, this is what's going on. Number one is they were upset because I work with Merrick.
Yeah.
And Merrick is a direct competitor of this
Oh,
person.
I understand. Okay. I can
So
understand
they were
a
like,
little
you're a
better.
direct competitor. I think that's where it stemmed from. The other thing, and I know they're going to hear this and they're going to be livid, but this person even posted about it on their story. Then they had to remove it. She brought up my Judaism and Zionism.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, unfortunately.
And there were people on this person's team who said, I know this has nothing to do with what you did and everything to do with
Who you are
Judaism,
and what you believe.
Zionism.
No, that's such a shame, bro.
So
it's really sad.
That was the biggest backlash of it. And I haven't found I haven't found a single person who's been able to sit down with me, who said they disagree with me, who's been able to put a logical conversation together in which they could fully express it without changing goalposts.
Well, when I saw it initially, I thought to myself, Jordan's not a good candidate for these compounds because of his already lean body composition in the traditional sense. But he's a great candidate in that he works with people who use these compounds. And like, I've never taken steroids. I've always thought about taking steroids. I like get excited about it, but I'm like, I have this thing in my mind, like they're always there. Like you're young and natty, and like when you get on them, it's going to be amazing if you need it. But there is part of me that knows, having not used those, I couldn't really help clients who are.
Yeah.
I'm really limited in like, yeah, I know you can train hard as fuck and recover amazing, but like I can't connect with the experience of being on that compound yet. I'd love to down the road when I try it. Maybe I'll get fucking swole and be like, this is amazing. I should have done it earlier. But there's also a very real chance that I'll be like, okay, wow, I know what it feels like to introduce exogenous testosterone. I can lean into this. That's a great reason for doing it. I don't want to pivot too much to like your faith because I know it's personal. And like, obviously this is such a hot topic in the world, but like, so much of like what I believe about what we should or shouldn't be doing in the Middle East, or like how things are and are not being handled, I've always gotten from looking at you, like I've always felt that your connection to your faith was pretty genuine.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of the Jewish people I know now, because of what happened on October 7th and everything that's happened since, there's obviously a double down and there's an entrenchment and there's a connectedness to like, we have been victimized by something completely heinous and insane. And like, you can't let go of that. It's a part of who you are. And I think it's like so unreasonable for somebody to be like, well, you know, I know that this person's faith is a big part of their life. And I'm going to attack them about something completely unrelated because I probably have a policy disagreement with them. Like I would imagine that could be what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's probably a policy disagreement about something that's happening in a country that we don't live in.
Yeah.
And how it's being handled by governments that we don't run. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, if you got a problem with the faith I've had since I came into this world, don't be pissed off that the politics have changed. Like, you've held this faith as long as I've known you, way before the politics around Israel and Gaza and Palestine changed the way they have. And like, so many people in America are disingenuous with their faith. It's completely phony. It's completely performative. Yours seems super real, bro. Like, I walk in your office and I see the books. And I'm like looking at this book. I'm not going to say what it's called, but I'm like, I've never I've never done an interview in front of a book. You got Harry Potter, illustrated edition above, how Hitler came to be. And like, there is a degree to which you're educated on this stuff. You're passionate about this stuff. I know you interview people who have lived through the Holocaust. It's a part of who you are. It's completely disconnected from the choice to take this medication. That was an intelligent business choice. And I think that I've been kind of proud to watch how you've handled a lot of this faith-based attack, I think.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
because
that.
I'm an atheist. I'm not a religious person. But it's just very difficult to watch people be attacked for, like you said, it's probably not related to the compound.
Correct.
And I think you carry that with you with a lot of stoicism, and like I don't see tons of wavering. I've seen you become more connected to your faith, and like even as an atheist, I respect that because I know that you come under fire for those beliefs and those values. And I would way rather be connected with, even as a non-believer, with people who are actually faith-based than people who fake it and perform it. And
you mean like the people who put like Bible verses in their bio?
I had one of those the other day. Oh, yeah, on the Serena Williams thing that we didn't talk about. I had a woman say she's lazy, you're enabling her. And I like clicked the bio, and her literal Bible verse was like, we should lift other people up and support them with the power of the Lord. Leviticus 69:69. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's always that way. I'm like, oh, wow, a hateful comment. Like, I made the mistake of talking about guns the other day. And I'm like, okay, I know this is a hot button issue. I'm going to get killed for it. But you know what? Someone's kid's going to get killed with a gun. And I feel compelled to talk about it. Torn up. And the people with the most hateful things to say had a Bible verse in their bio.
Yeah.
And like, I don't care who you worship. I don't care what religion you're connected to. But I do value authenticity and faith. And I think if you're taking a heat for something unrelated, I see that, I respect that, I think it's really cool. And I've actually like grown in my respect for you.
I appreciate
rather
that,
than
man. Thank you.
than like seeing it move away as you know, this is important to you.
Thank you, man. I also, for whatever it's worth, I have the Christian Bible and the Quran as well. I like to read what other people are reading as well. And
I think it's interesting that, you know, there's hundreds of religions in the world. It would be a little arrogant to assume that I got the right one, I got the right book, I got the right wisdom, and all the rest of them suck. That would be pretty arrogant, wouldn't it?
I think that for me, when we actually dive into the books, we find that we're far more similar than we are different.
Well, as I understand it, the Jewish Bible is, in fact, the beginning of the Christian Bible.
Yeah, so the Jewish Bible does it. Both the Christian Bible and actually the Quran, they all stem, the three Abrahamic faiths. They all stem from the same place. But one thing I've noticed when I travel, when I go to another country, immediately I feel a deeper connection with the people than I ever have before.
In that country, or with
in the new country that I go to, when I start trying to learn the language, learning a few phrases, when I can joke around with the people, before I hear about a country, wherever it is, it just seems very distant, physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Once I go there and I interact with the people, I have so much more connection with them, and it feels more important to me. And the same thing I found holds true with religion, where it's like there's a lot of divisiveness with religion, also with politics, with everything. But once you learn about them and you connect with people who believe them, it's no longer divisive. It's much more inclusive. It's much more, let's figure out like where, rather than trying to figure out where we disagree, let's figure out where we agree, and then just humanize one another. That's why I have the Quran. That's why I have the Christian Bible, because I want to be educated enough to have conversations with you about it.
You're also curious.
Yeah.
And like a foundational to so much of religion is the willingness to turn away from the truth. Like in so many ways, to be deeply religious, you have to have faith more than you have facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very rare to see a religious person who is aware of their connectedness to their faith, but who's open to the other facts. And I think it will build a more peaceful world to have consensus. But like, I love talking to people who I disagree with on various political things or various fitness things or ideological things. It's just so difficult to do it with any degree of maturity. And I think it gets very charged very quickly, and it's super unfortunate. But yeah, we all have a substantially amount more in common with each other than we would ever know if we only examine the labels.
Yeah.
But like whatever exercise it is to keep those books and to be curious is like the same energy we need about each other when it comes to our politics, our religion, our lives, whatever. That desire to be open and receptive to each other is clearly missing from America. And like you say, when you go other places and you have that, you feel so connected. We don't have that here.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we have that
I
here.
agree. I completely agree. Let's talk about Serena.
Yeah, let's talk about Serena. So I feel like defending the greatest, arguably the greatest female athlete ever for being hardworking and disciplined.
One of the greatest athletes, period.
Yeah, it's a great point. You don't even need to bring her gender into it. But like, that was not what I thought I would be doing. The day I posted like, hey, Serena Williams took a GLP-1. She's really hardworking and disciplined. That kind of proves that weight loss can be really challenging.
Yeah.
I did not expect to be getting people like, no, it just proves that she's lazy and doesn't want to work hard. That was really disappointing to me. And I asked myself the question, like, you're a hardworking person. You know, you lean into dedication and consistency. How big of a bitch are you compared to Serena Williams?
Yeah.
Like 100. Like, she's 100, you're a 0. She would smoke you.
Yes.
She's a harder worker than I am. She's probably more disciplined than I am. She might actually be able to physically beat me up. I'm not really sure. Like, what she has accomplished, like if you look at Federer or LeBron or anybody who has had a career where they dominate for a long time, it's because they're unbelievably connected to the tasks and the processes of being excellent.
Yeah.
Serena Williams, I looked this up on ChatGPT, allegedly like has a 4-hour tennis practice session after she wakes up, has lunch, and then goes and does another one. So she's playing 8 hours of tennis a day.
Holy shit.
You know what makes it really fucking easy to gain weight? When you were playing 8 hours of tennis every day and then you stop.
Yeah.
I think that's why she had a hard time losing weight. And it's like, you know why you can't relate to that? Because you're not a professional athlete. You don't have 8 hours of exercise a day that went to 0. Of course it's difficult for, like, what eating habits did she have to sustain her career? That now, when she's not active and a mom and not playing as much tennis, she has the same habits. She has to completely rewire her brain's relationship with food. To me, it's actually very reasonable that she took one of these compounds. I will admit she probably made a mistake being used as a spokesperson, because people immediately were like, look at this perverse financial incentive. Her husband works for the company. Can't you tell, you stupid idiot? She doesn't need him. She's just helping him make money. I don't fucking think Serena Williams needs any more money. Okay? Like, are you serious? Like, I hated that. I was like, oh yeah, you're so right, dude. She's loving it. Like, they're backing up the Brinks truck to her one of her 45 houses she already owned. She's probably doing it, in my opinion, if you search your heart, for non-nefarious reasons. She's probably like, yeah, dude, I've struggled with my weight. My sister, her whole life, really hasn't. This has been a unique battle for me and me alone, and I'm using these compounds to humanize the struggle.
Yes.
And like, one of my clients, she's a sweet lady. She was like, dude, you know how much that killed my motivation? If she can't do it, what the hell am I going to do? And I was like, I mean this with all the love in my heart. You ain't Serena Williams, honey. like how much, like, you got the wrong flip on this. It's not if she needed it, I'm fucked, I'll never do it. It's like, if she needed it, it's actually okay for you to consider it now, because like, it just generally creates a permission structure for people to acknowledge this is fucking really hard.
Yes.
And like, I got into this to help people be healthier, not to have them do it my way. That's why I'm open to it. I really believe the side effects of chronic overweight or obesity are way worse than the side effects of these compounds.
Without question.
And if I'm wrong, in 20 years and GLP-1s are the new opiates, come get me, man.
Yeah.
Come fucking find my ass and fucking tar and feather me. Come get it. I own it. Same thing about creatine. If I'm wrong about creatine, come get it. I'll own it. I just feel really confident that these compounds are fine, and that, again, who are you to try to find or gain moral superiority over the greatest female athlete ever because she had a hard time losing weight?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I think you bring up great points, especially around the work that she's doing to help normalize it, and to also understand, like, hey, I am arguably one of the greatest athletes of all time, and I struggle with this too. What I saw was actually a huge amount of women hating on her.
This is common. Which
was so surprising me, because so many of these women are the women who are supposed to be women supporting women.
That doesn't happen as much as you think.
It was wild to me. I was like, what happened to this phrase that you have in your bio that you talk about women supporting women? It's like, what is going on? And I completely agree. I don't think it was nefarious in any way, shape, or form. I think that her experience with it was probably similar to my experience with it, which was, holy shit, this has been tremendously beneficial. For me, it wasn't so much weight as it was around, I've been very overt about my struggles with binge eating, disordered eating when I was younger. Unfortunately, I haven't had a binge in like 15 years at this point. Wow. But there is still a level of food noise. That's very it's different than I would say the average person.
You have the dog on a leash, but it's still in the house.
Correct. And also remembering what we spoke at the beginning, my leash is different than yours because I have financial incentive to have that leash based on this being my business.
And so, yeah.
You look at everyone in my family, they don't have that leash. Like, everyone in my family struggles with it, like, beyond belief. So anyway, I have a feeling that she took this and had a very similar experience to what me and millions of others have experienced. Like, oh, fuck, this is actually wonderful, as a wonderful tool for me, so let me talk about it. And absolutely, there's a financial incentive there, but I don't think financial incentive inherently means poor intentions, bad intentions, nefarious intentions, because if you inherently believe that, then you better not look at any study that was funded by the people who could potentially be supporting it.
Of course.
Because then all of a sudden, every study that says what you believe
is phony baloney.
Exactly.
And it's bought and paid for.
Yes.
Yeah, it is difficult, but like, I think I just kept coming back to the physiological or just physics equation of like, she was eating to sustain 8 hours of practice.
Yes.
And that is no longer the case.
Correct.
That must be a massive dietary pivot. And I will never understand that. So I don't play tennis 8 hours a day.
Dude, tennis is brutal.
It's incredibly difficult.
Tennis is
It's
brutal.
multiplanar, it's rotational, it's calorically demanding.
Yes.
It is a very intense sport.
I feel like tennis is super underrated from an athletic perspective. People don't think about it very much.
Unequivocally so. Yeah, it's pickleball on steroids.
Yeah.
Everybody likes pickleball because it's fun, it's agile, it requires reactivity, it's rotational. I think I talked to a few clients who play tennis. I believe tennis is a wonderful supplement to weights.
Yeah,
because
100%.
everything with weights is in the sagittal plane.
Yep.
Not everything, but for the most part, the way we
Generally.
train. And tennis is this weird exercise that has so much frontal plane movement
Yeah.
and rotational transverse plane movement. You like literally side shuffle and rotate. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is like a cardio frontal like transverse plane exercise.
Yes.
It's like the perfect cardio pairing with weights. So like, you know, it sounds corny, but like if you did 2 days of weights and 2 days a week of pickleball, you'd probably be killing it.
Yeah.
Like even
That's
though
perfect.
ultimately like that's only 4 days. Like you get cardio, frontal plane, transverse plane movement from your pickleball / tennis. You get strength, bone density, mobility. I'm sure we'll talk about
Yep.
this. Not optimal mobility, but some mobility from weights.
Plyometrics.
Plyometrics for sure. Tennis is a phenomenal plyometric demand.
I think that we're talking about bone density a lot lately, which is wonderful. And we talk about strength training, but we don't talk about plyometrics for bone density. And if we're
They're pretty
comparing,
good.
I
because
think
of the
they're better
force
than strength
absorption.
training.
Yeah, I think scientifically speaking, just the force absorption
Yes.
is pretty important for
Yeah.
the bone density piece. And like I understand like jump training and low level plyos are kind of boring. And I'm totally cool with getting your plyometric demand from play.
100%.
Like pickup basketball would be
Yes.
fantastic too.
Yes.
Just something that has little hops, little jumps would be tremendous. And
Yep.
I do think a huge problem we have in America is we've completely disconnected from disorganized play.
Yes.
Go fucking play. Take
Yeah.
your shoes off and go play. You want to be athletic? Take your shoes off and go play. You want to be
Yes.
mobile? We talk a lot about mobility training.
Yep.
How good of mobility training is getting down on your level with your kids?
Oh my gosh.
Like
yes.
that's the ultimate. And
My
like
squats improved because of that.
we
Like I
abandon this.
deliberately sit in my squat with them.
adults don't play. We
Yeah.
don't make up our own games. And you're a kid, you'd be like, we're gonna make up a game. I have a stick and this thing, and you can do this and that and that and this. And we go burn calories and do all of this random disorganized movement that was tremendously nourishing for our brain and our proprioception and our motor development. And then we join organized sports and it stops.
Yep.
And then we join the workforce and it all stops.
Yep.
And the reason so many people hate exercise is because it's not games.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you know, have you heard the quote, if you don't like to read, read what you love until you love to read?
No, I haven't heard
Yeah,
that.
if you don't like to exercise, exercise in a way that you like until you like to exercise.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you might have to pull out the Harry Potter if it's been a long time since you've read.
Yeah.
And like house all 7 books. And then you're all of a sudden a reader again.
Yeah.
Then pick up the nonfiction and wow,
Smart.
the habit is there. And I feel like this is true with exercise. If you hate it, there is a form that you'll like.
Yes.
And the gains are adequate.
Yeah.
And they don't incorporate the resistance, but they are a huge missing piece.
Yes. Completely agree. All right. Now moving into a next section. I'm just going to ask you general questions.
Cool.
Has body image and or emotional eating ever been an issue for you?
You know who else asked me this question?
No.
The Jubilee casting people.
You were on Jubilee?
No, I wasn't, because I was not, I guess, I applied to go on the video about body image because I thought I had a really unique, like kind of middle
As
of
like
it.
the main person? Or
No, it was, no, my God, not surrounded. This one was
Okay.
called Spectrum. So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
8 people who exist on a spectrum.
Oh, cool.
And of course, like everybody in fitness, I think professionally, my chief insecurity is like, do I look good enough to do this job?
Yeah.
And like, I'm a natty, not so big guy. So probably not. Like, but like, that's my main insecurity. It's like, bro, I could be more jacked. But like for a natty, like I'm all right. And like, if I became a half natty or a full not natty, like I'd be solid.
What's half natty?
Like just blasting peptides and like calling like, oh, well, it's just TRT. But like I have test twice as high as a normal person.
Got
Like,
it. Okay.
yeah, bro, that's so TRT. Like we were joking the other day, me and my buddies, like Tiger Woods is like very muscular, and somebody's like, do you think Tiger Woods is on TRT? And I was like, dude, it's like Tiger's replacement testosterone. Like he's definitely
Yeah.
added some size. And like if I did peptides and like a low dose of test, I feel like I'd make some serious changes. But like I don't think my chief insecurity of being like below average size for the fitness industry is enough to make me do that.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of live with it. It's there. I have it. It's cool. What am I going to fucking do about it?
Yeah.
Train harder, get leaner, take something. Okay, I'm cool. Like, I'm good.
Not worth it.
We have these insecurities, bro. They're not, I'm going to live with them. Like, what am I going to do when I get old?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I going to do when I'm old? And there's like hot, badass young dudes who just look better than me no matter what. Like, no matter what, they already exist. I'm cooked. So get over it now, man. Because like, can you mask these insecurities, or you just learn to live with them? Mm-hmm. Like, you cannot convince me that every dude who is blasting copious amounts of gear to get over the insecurity that I have has healed that. They've just masked it. And
I don't even think I think they still struggle with it.
In many ways, it amplifies some of the existing character traits that are, oftentimes seen with insecure people, whether it's combativeness or anger or divisiveness. I just feel like I know it won't solve my insecurity, and it might make it worse.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, dude, just figure it out. Live with it.
Yeah.
Just fix it.
Man, I mean, it's been really sad over the last, I guess, 10 years now, seeing so many bodybuilders dying at such a young age.
A lot of bodybuilders are dying, yeah.
I think what happens is there's always going to be someone bigger.
And
as long as there's someone who's more big or bigger or more lean or jacked, whatever it is, you're going to want to take more and more and more. And that's what we see happening, where these young kids.
The amount of 18 to 25-year-old men who are taking steroids is devastating.
It's horrible, man. And I feel like no one talks about it. And
no, because we only talk about female body image issues, because we know statistically young women are killing themselves in completely absurd numbers thanks to platforms that I won't mention. And like, we typically look at these digital platforms as like being particularly nefarious when it comes to women's body image, but they've totally hit young men. And I think young men have it almost as bad.
I think it's
talk about this masculinity crisis. How much of it is driven by young men who feel physically inferior?
100%. And I think it's equal, like about 50-50. Based on my experience working with men and women, I haven't noticed more women having body image issues than men. I noticed that it's about equal. The same number of women who come in with body image issues are about the same number of men.
I think the total number of people facing body image issues is about the same, because I believe men's number has really increased recently to match women who have done a little bit of a better job of accepting things and being vocal about it. But dude, there are just so many young men who are clearly struggling with the way that they look, and they go online and they see people who look fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And those people might not be honest with them. There was a recent huge fake natty bust.
Oh yeah,
I was like, dude, this is so disappointing. This is so low character. Like, the two of you have like a tremendous following and like a massive responsibility to nurture young men who look to you to change who they are and how they appear in the world. And you are profiting off of them.
Yeah.
You've not only lied to them about what they can accomplish naturally, in the middle of your apology video, you stopped to sell them fucking dog shit fake bug steroids.
I know.
I found that to be unbelievably disappointing. And the crazy thing is, men are so much more forgiving. Like, it's okay that you lied to me. You still look amazing, dude. Maybe you are natty. You look fantastic. What the fuck, dude? Get the stick out of your mouth and the syringe out of your ass, bro. Like, the idol of like men with a great physique is a really strange thing. Like, I am all for pursuing a better body, but like, I really wonder if the models that our young men need to look to are not the model of masculinity that our young men need to be looking to should be separate from the physical self.
Yes.
It's not to say that building a strong body is not part of being a man, but like, you cannot become a man in totality by just getting jacked.
Of course not. It's also interesting, going back to travel, when I go to, whether it's Europe, the Middle East, Asia, wherever.
So tall.
When I look at like billboards or models in other countries, they look very different than the billboards of models here. And especially around men, the men here roided out, like jacked, shredded, typically as models. Whereas in Europe especially, but even in Asia, Middle East, a softer male, like a natural
physique.
A natural physique.
Yeah.
Whereas here it is a supraphysiological, not natural physique.
The superhero
which
physique.
is the superhero, which is seen as natural, which people believe is natural, which is why you have people being like, they've been lifting for 10, 15, 20 years, and people are like, you don't even look like you lift. It's like,
I hate those videos. They make me so sad.
Yes.
This is what 15 years of lifting looks like. And I'm like, oh, wow, it has 48 likes and 3,950 comments. And I'm like, I open it and you look like fucking shit. I'm like, oh, wow, men are broken.
But that's what it's like. That's
Bro,
what
for
15
sure.
years of lifting naturally looks like.
100%. Dude, I would bet my house that if I went on a cycle for 6 months, I would look
Completely different.
way better
Yes.
than I would get more gains in 6 months on a
Yes.
cycle than I probably would out of the 10 years.
100%.
It makes a huge difference.
Yes. I mean, I forget the name of the study. There's a very famous study. They had 4 groups of people.
Yeah. Steroids, no steroids, exercise with steroids, exercise with no
Yes.
steroids. I don't remember the name of the study either, but how disappointing the findings were.
So just for people listening, there were 4 groups of people. There were people who did not take steroids
And did not exercise.
There were people who did take steroids
And did not
and
exercise.
did not exercise. People who did take steroids and did not exercise, and people who did take steroids and did exercise. Obviously the
Steroids and exercise.
steroids and exercise group
Number
crushed
one.
it, built the most muscle. This was the surprising part.
The devastating part.
This is the devastating news. The group that took steroids and did not exercise built more muscle than the group that did not take steroids and did exercise.
Sick.
How fucking crazy is that? Anytime you think, well, how much does it really help? You're not playing on the same playing field. You're not playing the same sport.
If you don't
You're not
think
in the same
these
universe.
hormones help, why did you have no muscle before puberty? They obviously help. And then you
Yes. introduce
introduce like 2x the pubescent amount of testosterone into the system. You're going to get huge changes.
Yes.
Like these I think that TRT for aesthetics is a slippery slope. And I understand that like TRT when indicated for hypogonadal men can be life-saving.
Mm-hmm.
But I am concerned about how many young men might just tank their test to pass a lab and get
Yeah.
a TRT prescription because they know, hey, bro, I got to go to Ibiza or I want to look good for EDC.
Yep.
And everybody is using shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want to fall behind. And I wonder, like, what does happen if like 15 to 20 million American 20-year-olds take testosterone replacement therapy for body image issues that disappear when they're 30?
Yeah.
And they have either a life sentence on this compound or who knows, maybe they have more
Yeah.
body dysmorphia.
And to be fair, I think it's a very similar discussion to the GLP-1s.
Very similar.
Where it's like, I also think taking them from a body image perspective, jumping into it, it's not a decision to take lightly.
No.
I don't think whether it's for weight loss with the GLP-1 or building muscle with testosterone replacement therapy, I think it's a very similar discussion, and neither of them are decisions to take lightly. I'm very much of the opinion it's your body, your choice. You obviously get to decide, but I do think that if it's purely from the body image perspective and not an actual health issue, then you really need to think, you need to have a conversation with your doctor and weigh the pros and cons. Does it make sense for you? And especially what you said at the end, which is as you've gotten older, the body image issues have you just don't really, they're still there, but you just
They've
don't care about them
softened.
as much.
I've matured through
Yes.
them. I've sat with them long enough to be like, nothing I do or
Yes.
gain or change about me will make this go away.
Which is why you really need to think like it, and that's why you need to talk to your doctor, talk to your medical provider. Are the potential side effects worth it? And the only one who can answer that is you and your medical provider. Sure. That's it.
True. And I would just like, all I would say to young men who are like curious about that is you can probably wait.
Yes.
You can
Agreed.
probably wait.
Yes.
It's not that urgent.
I will say there are obviously clear differences between these drugs, but from a young male perspective, thinking about doing it, I'm not saying that it ruins your chances of having kids, because there are many people who have kids from
Sure.
after doing it or while doing it, but it can negatively impact it. That is one of the major side effects.
It makes sense.
So that's something you have to consider with, like, even if you don't think you want kids now at 23, 24, 25, I know I have so many friends who have changed their mind on that.
How many friends do you have that are struggling to have
Yes,
children?
it's one of the most
unbelievable.
devastating things to watch.
I think it might be the greatest inequity in our culture. I've
Yes.
thought about this a lot. And like when my wife and I had our baby, it was an accident.
Okay.
And like I was very, very upset in that like I knew that one of my closest friends had been trying
Yeah.
to have a baby. And I was like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the day I went and sat down with him to tell him, I was like, dude, I have to tell my closest friend.
Of course.
I'm going to be a dad. And I know that they've been trying. And they had, my friend hadn't shared that with me because of how personal that is and how like it feels sometimes like a failure if you can't conceive.
Right.
And it affects your masculinity and your femininity. But I knew it was happening because of the intuition that I have. And I went and I sat down like right from here to there. I was like, hey, bro, guess what? He's like, dude, we're pregnant. I was like, no way, cool. Because I was going to say the same thing. And I was
That's amazing.
I was like, dude, this is so, I felt so much better because there is this piece of me that was fundamentally aware that like the ultimate blessing was given to me.
Yeah.
And so many people would fight like hell to have it.
They would die for it.
And like, if you want a bigger house, just work harder. If you want a nice car, just work harder. If you want to start a family and biologically the deck is stacked against you, that's not fucking fair.
Yeah.
And like, man, I hate knowing that like something as precious as your ability to have a family could be predetermined for you biologically.
Yeah.
And I carry like a lot of empathy for people who are struggling with that. And I would definitely recommend to any young man, like if you don't want kids now, that doesn't mean you won't want kids later.
Correct.
And if you take care of yourself, you'll probably be likely to be more capable of having a family.
Yeah. That's exactly
and
right.
it might not be worth the trade-off because at 35, you might want kids more than you want biceps.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly right. And just, because listen, I was 22, 23, 24 once. Like I know it's like, you don't know what I want. One of the lines that I've heard that, because I always wanted kids, this was never an issue for me, but one of the lines I've heard that hit home with me that made me really think about the decisions I make and how I live is that the only reason you're here right now is because every single one of your ancestors, consciously, decision or not, reproduced. It's the only reason you're here. Every single one for thousands and thousands of years. You think it's just going to stop with you? And if that's your choice, great. That's amazing. But to make that decision at 22, 23, 24, 25, it's not
too early.
It's too early to decide it's stopping with you.
We say so frequently, 18 is too young to pick a career and get indebted to, some college. Like I'm 18, I know for a fact I want to be a brain surgeon. So I'm getting $200,000 student loans and now I'm 25 and I love history and I'm in the wrong major.
Yep.
And we'd be like, man, we shouldn't give these kids student loans at 18. They don't have what they need to make up their mind.
Correct.
Like you probably don't have what you need to make up your mind at 22 either.
No.
Maybe even at 25. And I of course am painfully aware that I am like woefully stupid compared to like a mature adjusted 40-year-old who's listening to this like, oh, at 30, buddy, I sounded just like you. I thought I knew it all. Like only having been a young male can I say that like you may be wrong at this moment. Because I didn't want kids. I was like, nah, I don't want kids. Then I met my wife and I was like, well, what a shame it would be to not give her the opportunity to be the great mom that she is.
Yes.
And like that's and allowed me to step into being a dad and follow her lead, which was really cool for me.
Yes. I completely agree, man. So, I mean, since we're already on the topic, how has your perspective on fitness changed now that you're a father?
Well, I think my principal fear in this world is that my son will lose his ability to connect with me physically like I did with my dad. And like I can see it in my mind like the last time I ever played catch with my dad.
Really?
I can totally see it. We're in the back lawn. I'm probably 11 or 12 and like the dude just cannot get the ball to me anymore. Fuck. And I'm just like, wow. I remember being so devastated by that moment and realizing like, wow, that was the last time. And like, I would love to play catch with my dad still, bro. Like I would love that, but it's not in the cards. And like, I'm very committed to trying to be able to play catch or whatever the thing is with my kid until I'm like painfully annoying. Like, Dad, come on, you don't have the arm anymore. No, I still got it. Like I can do it. I want to fight to the like my dad is, but hopefully without that illness. Yeah. But I want to be involved physically. I want to show up physically, and like that goes away so fast if you don't take care of it. And so that's the new motivation is to be like, can I be lucky enough? Because none of it's guaranteed. Like I've learned this from my dad. Can I be lucky enough to get 20, 30 years even of playing with my boy? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because I don't ever really want to stop playing with my boy. Yeah, I play with my guys at work every day. I work with my best friends. I'm an adult child. I want that in my life. Play is fun. And like, I hope I don't lose that to illness and disease and decline. And that's like my motivation to work out at 4 a.m. in the garage, hella quiet on my tiptoes. It takes what it takes. But it's way better motivation than like, I don't know, do I want to look a little better? Do I feel bad about my body today? Bone density's cool. BDNF alpha's cool. Mm-mm. It's like, shit, I'm going to be old. Might as well be capable.
What's one thing you love about being a father, and what's one of the things that was most surprising?
One thing I really like about being a dad, I have laughed like way more in the last 9 months. And I think like I struggle a little bit with anxiety and depression, and I had been in kind of a darker place for a while before my son showed up. And I was like, I really want to be where I need to be so I can be the model for my son that I want to be. And he has brought like so much joy and laughter into my life. In many ways, it has helped me through that and like helped me find and like reconnect with a part of me that feels happy and feels good. And like, in a way, that was also the biggest surprise. Like, the best part of being a dad is the joy and the laughter. And like, I think my son's funny when he does little funny things.
Like what? What's one thing he does?
False. It sounds so bad, but like when he tumbles and he's like, oh, and it's this big, like slow motion, arms up in the air thing. And I'm like, bro, I don't know why. That's so funny. And I just like, he has this massively expressive smile, and he totally has it from watching my very expressive face. And like, when I walk in, his vision is good now. So he sees me at the door, and I can literally watch like as the door closes and the shadows fade and he can make out who it is. He just gets this huge ass smile.
That's
I was
the
like,
best.
It's like, damn, I feel so energized, even though I've been working for 10 hours. And like, I guess I didn't anticipate the simple joys of experiencing life through someone so pure, right? Like, he is completely unaffected by the challenges of the world. He lives in abject joy. And like, we all need that, and like being around that. And I didn't realize how powerful it would be.
There's no feeling that I've been able to find that is remotely close to when you walk in the room and your young child gets so happy and so like just the biggest smile crosses their face. It's like that never happens in literally with any other person. I walk in the house.
Dogs, right?
Well, yeah, it's true. Curtis gets
like,
excited.
Bro, are you kidding me? I have been that for you for a long time.
That's a fair point.
That's something fascinating, is like, when you have kids, you definitely realize how pure the dog love is.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I love these kids like my dog loves me.
Yeah.
Unconditionally.
Yeah, that's
and
so
like,
true.
wow, like, it has really...
That's a great point.
It has made me so much more thankful for my dogs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, you really love me like that for fucking no reason, bro. Like, you are a real one. I get home, they're like, Dad's home. I'm like, fuck off, my baby's over there. And they are like, it's okay, he'll come back, he loves us. And like, dude, it's special to have both. Is special.
Yes, it
and
is.
Like,
that's true.
But
that's
yeah,
very true.
these kids love us, and like, I saw your girl look at you when she came down the stairs.
Yeah.
And like, it's special, bro.
It's the best. It's the greatest thing. What's the one thing that surprised you?
Well, I guess I didn't realize one. You know what? I'm gonna take a different approach here. This is gonna piss people off.
I love that. Let's do it.
It wasn't as hard as everybody said it would be. How's that? For every fucking answer you've ever gotten about kids, it's way worse than I thought it would be. But I guess I was just listening to the most like pessimistic people ever. And you like, have fun never sleeping again. Have fun never being able to wipe your ass without your kid knocking down the door. Like, I was like, oh my God, my fucking life is fucked. And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be the worst thing ever. I'm totally ready. Everybody has told me my life is over. I'm never going to sleep again. It's going to be a huge adjustment. Have fun never having sex. All of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't as terrible. Like, the joy of having the child offset the challenges.
Yes.
And I'm just like, maybe it's how I frame the challenge, but like, this wasn't as shitty as you guys said it was going to be. And the energy to do it, I found in the love I have for my child.
Yeah.
And like the capability to work out when I'm tired and work when I'm tired was there because I have a new reason for it.
Yeah.
And I guess I was surprised that I didn't fall flat on my face like I thought I would. Not that I'm like father of the year, but I really anticipated to be overwhelmed by the difficulty, but I was able to meet the moment because I had new incentive.
Yeah.
So I guess
I love
I'm
that.
not saying it's easy.
No, it's
I'm just
not.
saying that the motivation was surprisingly helpful.
I very much relate to that. I think you articulated that perfectly, far better than I could have. And I completely agree. It's I found that the people who have said those negative things, oh, your life is over, da 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 da. You and I were talking before the podcast about how it's like we don't want to leave the house. Like,
Yeah, it's way harder.
Dude, I don't. If I could be home with my family all the time, I built my podcast studio in my home so I don't have to leave, so I can walk out that door and my girls are right there. If I don't have to leave, I don't want to leave. Whereas I feel like a lot of the people who say your life is over, they're still the ones who still like to go out and party and do all these things without their kids. I'm like, I want my kids with me all the time. I'm gonna be smothering them with an outrageous amount of love. It's just, and everyone's different. I'm not saying my way is right or wrong. All I'm saying is for me, and I feel like for you, there's nothing better than time with your family.
It was crazy to me, on my way over here, my wife and I were on the phone, and my baby's actually had a little cold. So I was checking in. I was like, hey, how are things? I'm almost at the airport. She's like, I don't want you to worry about it. When you get there, that feeling you get when you get to the airport, it's about to be fun. Just lean into that. And I was like, okay. And I got to the airport and I'm like, any minute now, I'm going to get that feeling of I'm at the airport. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not the feeling of I'm at the airport. It's the feeling of I'm about to go on an adventure with the people I love.
Yes.
And they're not here.
Yes.
So this feels like work.
And I'm worried about you.
And working sucks
Yes.
when my family's at home, and my kid is not feeling well.
Yes.
And there's this long-standing axiom that for dads, the paternal gene kicks in a little later than moms. It's not always the case, but I've heard people say it takes a little while with dads, or it takes a little while. And I totally felt it when I sat on the plane and clicked in the seatbelt. I was like, I might run off this plane right now. I don't, and realistically, coming here and doing this is very special for me.
Yeah.
I've acknowledged and looked up to your work for over a decade.
Thank you.
So getting the invitation was very, very, it felt like a tremendous honor. I was super excited. And I was like, wow, my value system has changed.
Yes.
In that, what would have once been something I couldn't shut up about, and I'm eternally grateful. I'm almost not wanting to do it because I don't want to leave my kid.
Dude,
and that is a
100%.
very unique change. And I'll adjust. But yeah, it was a unique first trip away from my baby.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I've related to anything more than that. I hate leaving the house. I hate leaving my family. And it's funny, when I coached Gary, I had hundreds of flights.
So many
hundreds,
flights.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds every year. And I became very accustomed to being on the plane and not being worried. Now I can't leave the house without being worried about what if there's a catastrophic car accident? How are my girls going to be okay? For the first time now being on a plane is fuck, what's going to happen? And I get more worried literally on a drive to Walmart just because you're more likely to get in a car accident just driving in general. But things I never worried about ever are now something where it's I need to be super careful and meticulous and make sure that nothing happens to me, because if something happens to me, it puts them in a bad situation. It completely fucked my brain.
Yeah, and I do think there is a strange 180 that happens when you become the second or third most important person in your life.
Yeah.
Right? When you meet the woman you're going to spend the rest of your life with, in all likelihood, you're going to probably put her first. It just feels kind of natural. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want, babe? And then your kids come along and you shift down another degree or even two. And I think I've realized okay, one, my needs aren't really that important. I have a job and a duty to make sure that my family is safe and secure. And that really just jumps to the front of my mind more than it used to. And it's got to make sure everything's tight. I'm waiting for my wife to wake up on the Pacific time to FaceTime her and be let me see his boogers. Come on, let me see the boogers. Is he doing better? Are they more or less boogers? And I'm like, yeah, that was what I did this morning. I waited patiently for my wife to wake up. No podcast prep. I was like, gosh, I don't want to text her because it's 4 a.m. But like, I'm dying to know how things are. They've never been at the house without me one time. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just stressed. And I was like, wow, that's new.
You
And
got to
like,
put some cameras in so you can
we got
check in.
cameras. We got
Oh, you
cameras,
do?
but she
Okay.
had picked him out of the crib. So I checked the baby camera and I'm like, well, the baby's not in the crib. Which probably means he's in bed with my wife. Or somebody came to the house and took them both. Oh my God. Fuck. That never crossed my mind before, but now it's in there.
Yes.
And it's so fascinating because I'm like, no, it's cool. Just enjoy your coffee. Just check that camera one more time.
All right, let's move on to this is more of a fun question.
Okay.
Who is the worst character in Harry
Dolores
Potter?
Umbridge. Is this a real question?
So
Is this a real question?
It's a real
Is there,
question.
you ever get another answer than Dolores Umbridge?
So as I was coming up with this question, doing the podcast prep, I've always said Dolores Umbridge.
I mean, I could give you a weird hot take, which is Dumbledore, because he probably just should have told Harry from the jump, this is all going to work out, buddy.
So no, so that is a weird hot take.
You're going to die in the 7th book, but you'll come back.
So I've always said Dolores Umbridge. I steel-manned myself last night as I was coming up with a new answer.
Okay.
I want you to...
Non-Dolores Umbridge only
It's
answers.
non-Dolores Umbridge. Who do you think... And not Voldemort, obviously.
Okay. Well, Voldemort is like a stand-in for like the classical elitist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pure bloods or nobody.
Yes, correct.
So like I do find that it would likely be someone adjacent to Voldemort.
Okay.
I'm so compelled to say Bellatrix Lestrange because
Oh, yeah?
the acting by the woman who played her
she's so good.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
She was like, I wanted to punch her out.
Is that Helena Bonham Carter? I think
Correct.
yeah, she's
phenomenal
she's one
in that
of the best
role.
actors in the world.
She is a uniquely evil character.
Yeah. She is.
Right? She's the right-hand man of Voldemort. So she's way up there on my list. Umbridge really bothered me because I hated getting nagged by all my lady teachers in school. That was like my whole
And
life.
also like the writing on your hand.
Yeah,
like,
as
that
a
was
student
just evil,
with like
pure
growing
evil.
up with ADHD, I was like always in trouble,
Yeah.
always at detention, always like, the teacher hates me. And
Yes.
now I'm like, yeah, you were probably pretty awful to deal with. I am compelled to say Bellatrix, but I want to. I'm going to say Petunia Dursley. Here's why.
Okay.
She should have stood up for her nephew because she let Harry Potter be subjected to years. When did he fully move away from Privet Drive? Book 5? So for 4 books, he's subjected to child abuse by her husband, who, I don't know, like if my wife moved my nephew in and I was fucking making him sleep under the stairs and
A cupboard.
committing like felony child negligence, I would say like it's almost worse that she let it happen.
Yeah.
I know they gave her like a really nice redemption arc at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, Petunia Dursley is pretty bad because
that
she
answer.
knew her sister and she knew Harry and she knew the truth about them. And she perpetuated that lie that his parents died in a car crash and let her awful husband abuse him for a long time and probably should have stood up for him
Yeah.
because he was the only remnant of her sister. I don't know. It's Dolores, but I'm giving you a deep take.
Well, no, I love these takes. I literally almost started a Harry Potter podcast. Just it's like I could talk about this all day. My answer, as of last night, is Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah, he's great. Betrayal of the friend, betrayal of the family.
So here's why I have started thinking about him instead of Dolores Umbridge or Bellatrix Lestrange, is because Dolores and Bellatrix are evil. They
And they're
don't hide
supposed to
it.
be evil. They're
supposed
introduced
to-
immediately as evil.
They are evil, and they don't hide it, and immediately like this is an evil person based on everything they do. Peter Pettigrew pretends to be good, and he pretends to be loyal, and he pretends to use his weakness as a justification for doing bad. That to me is far worse and disgusting when someone pretends to be loyal, but then will willingly go behind your back and
Sell
get
you
killed.
out so you get killed?
That to me made him the most evil.
I kind of agree if we take out the top tier of like S tier villains.
Yeah.
He's way up there, and he is a unique character in that, yeah, he does the full 180 of betraying the Potters,
Yes.
right? Like he sold them out to Voldemort for personal gain,
Yes.
and then he lived as a fucking rat.
Yes.
For
With the
is that
imagery of
not
that,
symbolism
the greatest
in and of
image,
itself?
yeah.
He is a rat.
He is a rat.
And Harry's dad is a dog, a more stoic and
Yes.
loyal animal. How funny. And of course, Sirius is a dog.
Yeah, and
the foil to Scabbers the rat, the true friend to Harry's parents.
Yes.
He quite literally exists as the fall man for Peter Pettigrew.
Yes.
He is all of the things Peter is, but he's not.
Yes.
He's introduced to you as the guy that killed the parents, as the great evil. Probably shouldn't have taken so many like maniacal laughing. Like you're not helping yourself, bro. Like who is your defense attorney? And like why has he not coached you up? Don't do front page Daily Prophet maniacal laughs. You are not helping yourself out. Like
The only thing that I can think about that is I can't imagine what it would be like to be in Azkaban and like have all of that drained from you. That's how I painted it in my head. He's like, all right, he's just out of his mind. Like he's going crazy.
Alligator Azkaban, baby.
Yeah.
It's becoming more imaginable.
Yeah.
But I do think like he is a character who goes from evil to good in the best way. And it's through the process of understanding Sirius Black's intentions
Yes.
that we realize how nefarious Peter was.
Yes.
And I do think of them as dichotomous characters. They
100%.
exist as foils.
Yes.
Like Sirius's character is less impactful without Peter, vice versa.
Yes. Completely agree.
That's Sirius Black's my favorite character.
Oh, is he? I was going to ask who is the best character in Harry Potter?
I think he's the best character.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay,
Because
why?
he passes the loyalty test.
Yep.
And he's willing to die for what matters to him.
Yep.
And like, obviously Harry is all of those things. And Ron is phenomenal. Dumbledore is incredible. My wife and I both have a tremendous love of Snape because he is just so layered as a character and his intentions are unbelievably pure and he conceals them well.
We're going to debate on this.
In my opinion.
We're going to debate on this.
I'd love to, but like I would say it's Sirius and Snape are
Okay.
my two favorite.
All right. So Sirius is I've always looked at Sirius as my favorite and the best. And last night again I was thinking, so let me steel man myself. I actually went with Dobby.
Dobby's awesome, bro. I mean, Dobby's death is like a top 10 saddest movie
Yes.
history moments.
Yes. Yeah.
But like going back to that dog thing, unequivocal love. When
Yes.
Harry gave him that sock, he was like, you
Yes.
love me for me.
Yes.
And he was loyal to the soil.
Yes.
And if you read the books and you actually get some of the like fleshing out of the house elf content, especially in book 4.
Oh my gosh, dude, I love that. I was so mad it wasn't in the movies.
Character. Oh, well, they're going to do the shows, so we'll see what that's
I
like.
hope, yeah.
I'm trying to be positive.
Yes.
Black Snape's tripping me out, but it is what it is. It's like, fuck.
He's described as like a milky white skin.
Guy.
Yeah.
I am not that guy, man. Like Black Little Mermaid. I don't care. Little mermaids
matter.
don't exist. Black Snake, now hold on a second.
Yes,
You're fucking with my childhood.
It's just going against what's written in the book, which is pissing me off.
Yeah, and of all the people, you know, Miss Rowling is not one to mince words
Yes.
when she feels the identity of a particular person or character might be
Yes.
questionable. That's all I'm going to say there. But I remain hopeful that this is fantastic.
Yes,
and HBO
agreed.
tends to deliver.
Yes,
they
they
did
do.
not fuck me with The Last of Us. They did on the second one. But the first season was phenomenal. And Game of Thrones, other than the last season,
Yes.
has been they've delivered. So I remain hopeful that they will crush. But so you're telling me you've changed from Sirius to Dobby, or it's
I'm not
Sirius
saying I've
and
changed.
Dobby?
I think they're just so I think they're equal parts. I think they should both be in the discussion. I think I also have a bias towards Dobby because I'm a small dude. I'm short, and Dobby is this like I in my life I've felt very overlooked when people don't know me because of my size, and I feel like house elves and Dobby in particular get overlooked in society. They get overlooked as not worthwhile. Meanwhile, Dobby's so powerful.
He has like actual powers.
He has real powerful magic within him. He can create incredible change. He loves with every ounce of his soul more than the average person possibly can. Like Dobby's just he didn't do any wrong.
No, he didn't. He is pure. He is pure.
Pure. And I wish I could be pure like Dobby.
Don't we all?
I wish like in terms of who I look up to, I wish I could be like Dobby.
What are the elements of Snape that you find most relatable or impressive?
I might ruin your view of Snape.
I doubt it.
I might.
Let's try it.
Okay.
You can't hurt me too much.
So this was really disappointing when I realized this. Do you remember why Snape came to the good side?
You mean why he abandoned Voldemort
Yes.
and worked covertly with Dumbledore?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, it was for a selfish reason related to Lily Potter.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, he wanted to save her.
He wanted to save Lily Potter. There were two options for the chosen one, Harry and Neville.
I have heard this.
If Voldemort chose Neville and he was not going to kill Lily Potter, there is no reason for him to go to the good side.
And you think he would just stay bad?
Correct. The only reason that he made that choice was to save Lily Potter. 100% selfish.
It's kind of weird.
If Neville had been chosen, his arc he never would have changed sides. He would have been like, fine, whatever, kill him.
Yeah, when you paint it that way, it does make it sound like, hey, look at this guy. He only fucking did that because he was still in love with this married lady. What a psycho.
Yes.
But, okay, I'll steel ban it.
Do it.
It takes a lot of love to care about the survival of a woman who chose your adversary over you.
Yep.
And the adversary who bullied you as well.
Yep.
And to change sides, to still have it not go your way. They both die.
Mm-hmm.
To stay on the good side
Mm-hmm.
and to nurture covertly, quietly, and secretly the child of the man who you hated, who bullied you, and who stole the woman you loved from you. But because you know, one, that this child is integral to the survival of your world and defeating this evil, and two, he's the last living, breathing piece of this woman. So much so that with his dying breath, he says, let me get a look at those eyes, buddy.
Yeah.
I thought that was compelling.
I agree.
I would ask you the question, what kind of moral purity does a man need to raise the son or protect the son of the man who he hates most in the world? And obviously he did it terribly for like 6 years.
Well, that was my next
But,
point.
like,
How do you
man,
justify the bullying, and not just the bullying of Harry?
That could be the spin though. He did that to everyone. He was so devastated and so broken and so calloused from losing the woman he loved that he took it out on everybody, including Harry.
Children?
Yes, of course, including children.
That's so fucked up.
But principle to the story is this man who you think for 6.5 books is evil is
Yes.
gonna spin and completely change.
Yes.
Like it is integral. So she had to build him into that.
Correct.
But what sits with me is what it would take for me to do that. I don't have a guy that I'm that adversarial with, but I'm like, I'm imagining myself like, fuck, I hated that asshole. And now
Yes.
his kid is like, I have to kind of secretly keep him ready to
Yes.
fight the Dark Lord, and then I'm going to have to teach him this
Yes.
shit, and then ultimately Snape dies
Yes.
to keep Harry alive.
Yes.
I thought it was impressive. I think that I'm spinning it the way I want to spin it and the way I want to see it, but I felt that that was a purity test in its own right.
Listen, I agree, and I need to separate the character arc from the character.
The character arc was necessary for him to be as popular as he was,
Yes.
but it's not a fun arc.
Correct.
Because you have to get trashed for 6 books.
And especially as a father now, it's like, if I have a teacher who's treating my daughter like shit, like, fuck that teacher, dude. You know
That's
what I mean?
going to be hard, yeah.
It's like, and the way that he was so mean to these innocent kids, I can't get over it.
I will say, I think Alan Rickman's portrayal of
he was so
Snape
good.
was so intimidating to me as a child that
he
I still
played it
feel
perfectly.
it.
Yeah.
I still feel it. And so, like, yeah, I would not have liked that. But, like, there's part of me that's like, it was just a bit. It was just a bit the whole time.
Like he was pretending.
No, he felt the animosity, but deep down it was cover for the fact that, like, I'm a covert agent for Dumbledore. And, like, I have to teach this stupid class that I don't really love, and I fucking hate Harry Potter. He's an asshole. He looks just like his dad. God damn it, he looks just like his dad. But he has his mom's eyes.
Yeah.
And I am going to fucking just bite tooth and nail. This is going to suck, but I'm going to get to that 7th book and we're going to take this guy out. And I'm going to hate every fucking second of it. Like, that was a probably long 7 years. He probably had no ambitions of being a teacher. He's like, this sucks. I preferred being a Death Eater, but like, this is what Dumbledore needs me to do. I hate kids. like fuck. You try teaching chemistry, you don't like kids, okay? That's my take.
That's a fair take. That's a fair take. And you know, Harry ended up naming his son after him. So I mean, clearly,
Albus Severus Potter, baby.
Yeah. I have another question for you. This is not fitness related. This is not Harry Potter related. I'm very interested in this question. You swear, not as much as I swear, but you swear.
I do swear. And
in your content, you use asterisks when you spell out the swear. So like, fuck is F asterisk CK. Why?
I don't know. Why? What is the point?
I've wondered that.
I guess I just feel like, yeah, that makes no difference at all. People can see that it's fuck.
They're still saying fuck in their head.
Yeah. Well, when you say it like that, I realize it's an exercise in futility. So I should just all caps it now.
Because it's funny. Like, I like to think I can get a good read on people, but I didn't expect to have like this level of conversation, this level of like, you cuss, and I love it because I swear too.
Sure.
I didn't expect it to come out based on the asterisks. I thought you were mainly using swearing as an intensifier.
I tend to, but I think I'm tweeting what I'm saying or typing what I'm thinking, and then as I'm typing, I'm like, oh, don't think that part. But you can put it in there. But if you put the asterisk, it doesn't count as a swear. And it's like when you meet me in person, you will find I use the swears and I do not bleep them. I'm like, you're right. I should just cut that.
I was just curious.
I have no real reason for doing it. And now that you say it, I realize it is mildly comical that I'm like, no one will know that mother FUC asterisk ER is motherfucker. No one will know that. So dumb.
It's every time I do a podcast, like I spend a fair amount of time reviewing content. And so that was just something I was like, man, every single time is an asterisk.
That's funny. I will full caps bold the next cuss.
I love that.
Just for you.
Bold, underline.
I do elevate my volume when I cuss in real life.
Yes.
For the point of adding emphasis. So it's funny that in my content, I do the opposite.
Yes. So I was curious, but I like that.
I'm sure that like now that I think about it from a 1,000-foot view, it is an insecurity that I shouldn't be using that language. And maybe if I put the asterisk, it'll protect me from some of my less polished speaking and writing proclivities. That's the only reason I can think of right now on the spot.
Have you had anyone get mad at you?
Yes. For cussing? Really? All the time. Is that what you're going to say?
Yes.
Yes, all the time. You should not swear like that.
Even though there's the asterisk they use it?
Oh, no, not that. But when I cuss on a video, I would have gotten way more out of this if you didn't drop the F-bomb. Fuck off. Right? Like, it's hard to talk about the things I am passionate about and not have those words come out. Right. I know this is a deficit. I'm working on it.
I don't think it's a deficit.
Okay, let's be honest. If I were going to get into public office or something like that, I'd probably have to tone it down. Maybe not,
I don't think so.
At this point, we might be in a whole nother era. Maybe the first politician to drop motherfucker is going to surge in the polls.
I honestly think it will.
I have a slightly state-level political question for you. This is my first trip to Texas. Do you do any betting or gambling? I hope not.
No, I don't.
Good. It's bad for you. You shouldn't.
I was literally just in Vegas.
Nobody who's listening to this should gamble on anything. But there are prediction markets.
Okay.
And there is a prediction market for the U.S. Senate seat that will be available for Texas in 2026.
Okay.
What do you think of this guy, James Tallarico? Do you know who he is?
No.
Never heard of him?
No.
Do you know anything about Colin Allred?
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's all I need to know. Because I threw a little money on James Tallarico to win this Senate seat in Texas. Isn't that so degenerate? You have to know him.
I've heard of Colin Allred.
Colin Allred ran against Ted Cruz in 2024.
I voted for Colin Allred, so.
He's a football player, you know? I thought he could win in Texas, but the inertia of being a Democrat in Texas is hard. But the reason I put a little money on James Tallarico is because he just has this incredibly polished delivery. He doesn't cuss. He's a preacher. He's in seminary school as a Democrat, running against a likely Ken Paxton.
Okay.
It might not be Ken Paxton, but I don't know who's going to run for this Senate seat. But just seeing a Democrat politician who's so connected to his Christian faith and like has this incredibly polished delivery, I was like, ooh, I think he could win. And the money is pretty stacked against him.
Where is he on the spectrum of Democrat? Like,
Center left. I would
so
say.
he's center.
He's way less progressive than somebody like AOC or Zohran Mamdani.
Got
He's
it, okay.
substantially, and as one would have to be a Democrat in Texas.
Yes.
But I find him interesting because I would have thought somebody like Allred, being that football indexes very highly out here, would do better. But the inertia of being a Democrat in Texas is hard. But Tallarico being a faith-based, very faith-based person, I find it kind of fascinating. And I just like the odds.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you guys have heard of him, because nobody pays attention to fucking Senate politics in 2025. We're in an off year. But if you guys are like, oh yeah, I've heard of him, I've seen his videos, I would have been like,
seen any of it.
I bet you have. Pull him up for me, would you? Just so I feel like when you see the face, you'll be like, I actually do know that guy.
Okay.
But I only ask because people who are able to cut through like most people are checked out on politics right now.
Yeah.
That could have been a little indicator for me that I might not have enough money on it because the odds are decent.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, just don't gamble. I don't do it a lot.
I'm not a gambler. Listen, my grandfather on my dad's side lost everything. And it was one of the things I just never got into. I have a super addictive personality too, so I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Don't play with it.
There was one time I was in Vegas when I was coaching Gary, and I don't know if I told this right in the podcast. One time I was in Vegas coaching Gary Vaynerchuk, and I was staying at the Cosmopolitan, and we went to Vegas pretty frequently, and I had never gambled in my whole life because like my Zadie did it, and he lost everything, and I don't know how to gamble. It was just I don't know. So I was in the gym, and there was a random dude there. We were working, and we ended up working out together, just like having a good time. And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go down and gamble if you want." And I was like, "Oh no, I don't do that." And he was like, "Drink for free," and I was like, "What?"
Wonder why.
And he was like, "If you're on the floor and gambling, you drink for free." I was like, "I'll try it." So then we go shower, get changed.
There's a movie about this. There's 3 of them.
We go to the roulette table, and I very quickly come up with a game-winning strategy where I was like, here's what I'm going to do. And I basically come up with whatever. I win $700, and I was like, I'm out.
The worst thing that can possibly happen.
The worst.
The first time you gamble is that you win.
Yes, I won $700. We got a steak dinner. And I was like, and literally, I swear to God, I was like, I might move to Vegas.
I'm pretty good at this.
I was like, this is so easy. I could make pretty good. Like, I only did this for like 45 minutes. I could do this for hours. And so I coached Gary the next morning at like 5 or 6. I woke up at 3 to go gamble.
Hyped.
Lost $300. Haven't gambled since.
Yeah, I have one client. We talked a little bit before we jumped on the mic, who in 2024 was the single highest earning DraftKings player in the country. DraftKings is a form of daily fantasy sports where you play fantasy football and build a lineup with an arbitrary amount of money. So you can only have so many really good players, and then you have to have a few nobodies. Highest scoring lineup wins. And, millions of people enter every week, and there's only 17 weeks that you can win. And he won 2 out of the 17 weeks. And so we're talking big time, multiple $1 million payouts. And his number one piece of advice is that nobody on earth should fucking gamble. He's just like, dude, this is so comically stupid for you to do. Like, the odds are really stacked against you. And like, we've been talking a lot about young men and some of the issues they face. Being able to oblige your natural male tendencies to take high risk, stupid decisions on your phone. Anywhere in America is really dangerous.
It's a great point.
There's an app called Kalshi.
What's
it's a
that one?
prediction market app.
Okay.
You can bet on anything. If I may I?
Yeah. Do you use this?
No. And no one should. Yes, I do. I'm embarrassed to say. Kalshi is a prediction market app.
Okay.
We have, who will win the New York mayoral contest? Will Trump release any Epstein files? Will Trump be out as president? Who will be the Republican nominee? Who will be the Democratic nominee?
And it gives you the odds and everything?
And the inverse odds. So let's here's a good one. who will be the Democratic nominee in 2028? Gavin Newsom is running away with it because of some recent stuff.
Right, yep.
I could say no. It's not going to be Gavin Newsom. And I get terrible odds because
because right now
a no vote is like, there's 20 candidates and a no bet isn't going to get you far.
Right.
But like if he's the most likely to win candidate in November and you throw a no vote and the campaign blows up and he falls all the way down, you can make money. And like I honestly wonder how much like actively people who are in politics are just like using these prediction markets, because you can bet on them with crypto, you can bet on them with fucking anything. It's
really
super obvious or super covert. I don't know, man. Like I think the new addiction for people will be gambling. That's like my hot take. With everything I've learned about food and food reward and how food behavior is similar to addiction, I really think like you should not be able to do that on your phone.
That's
should not
such an interesting take, because it makes all the sense in the world. Gambling is clearly one of the most addicting things you can do. It's one of the most destructive things you can do. It's so far off of my radar. I never think about it. Like
I would so good, bro.
A lot of it is the fear from what I was instilled on as a child, seeing that my Zadie lost everything.
You also are very fiscally, I think, intelligent. You make good decisions.
It's
I'm
based
sure
out
you
of
have
fear.
an investing strategy.
Yes,
and
of
this would
course.
be antithetical to that strategy.
Correct. It's the idea of it was that, and then when I lost those $300 in Vegas, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I just lost $300.
Humans hate. I think you've heard this though. Humans would way rather would way rather not lose $100 than win $500.
Yes,
Scarcity is a really uncomfortable feeling.
Which is interesting because gambling is also so addictive. So you lose, but like
I'll get it.
I'll get it back. It's an interesting.
The reason I worry about it is because it just goes back to this young men want agency.
Yeah.
And like, I do you invest in crypto?
I have in 2020, 2021, I took a friend's advice. I took a very small percentage of net worth,
Sure.
Put it in, and I don't look at it.
That's fine. That's reasonable. Bitcoin,
Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Okay, the basics.
Yeah.
So like, I would say that like stable coin investing is probably like a more responsible crypto involvement than like jizz coins going to the moon, bro. I know it. Like I got cock rocket coin. It's fucking unstoppable. And it's like that feels like gambling.
Yes.
And like the reason young men like that and want that is because they need to achieve status, and it takes so fucking long. I don't know if you think about this, but like I all the time think like, holy shit, I'm so fortunate to be where I'm at in my life and to have what I have
Every
and to
day.
have been blessed with the opportunities to earn a living. And if I had to go back to being 18-year-old me right now, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Fuck, this is an uphill climb from hell.
Yeah.
How did I do it? How did I make it here? And like I see young men like, they might be like, I'd love to have that car, but it's so fucking expensive. I'd love to own a house. They're too expensive and the rates suck. I'd love to get my own apartment. I can't even do that. And the fastest way to agency and status is to just get lucky. I'm just going to go take a fucking shit coin to the moon, or I'm going to gamble my way there. And that never works. But it is so tempting when you have no agency and nothing to lose.
Yeah.
To throw. And I just feel like gambling addiction is going to, we'll talk about it. Like, let's keep a pulse on this for the next like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that I think could curb this is GLPs. And I really think if you look at the drinking statistics now,
it's
I'm
pretty
like,
wild.
This is heavily influenced not only by education, but by GLPs.
Yeah.
And cannabis accessibility. Derek and I were talking about they have kava here.
Yeah.
I just think people are drinking less in large part than the GLP-1s.
Yeah. I think the alcohol industry is fucking livid.
Well, I live in the epicenter of the alcohol industry in Sonoma County, where they grow all the wine, and it is impacting business. For sure. I mean, wineries are less it's a great time to go wine tasting in Sonoma County, my friend. Come out sometime. I don't drink, but I'll happily take you.
Does your wife drink?
My wife loves drinking wine. My wife and her father and their whole family love wine. My dad was a winemaker. And his principal disappointment in my life is I won't drink with him. And I'm just like,
why don't you drink?
I think part of it is when I look at the totality of decisions I could make that would make my health worse, that is the number one thing I would do to make it worse.
Yeah.
And I just have this like principle, like this, the system that runs in my brain is really keen on like whatever the highest upside thing is, do that. And whatever the biggest downside thing is, cut that. And like, I really like fucking food. Like last night I had Burger King because I just came in late and I was like, fuck, I need to DoorDash something. And I was like, I can't eat as much food that I really enjoy if I'm constantly drinking.
Yeah.
And like, man, the food freedom I get, this is not a Burger King endorsement, but like you can eat Burger King and not be as fat and sloppy if you don't house 300 alcohol calories with it.
100%.
And when like, I just kind of was like, there might be a link to alcohol and neurodegenerative disease
Okay. Yeah.
and
yeah,
alcohol and bipolar disorder. Both of these things run in my family and
Yeah.
I'm just not fucking with it. And then like fully transparent, like my mom's mom died of cirrhosis of the liver. She drank herself to death.
Okay.
Was never going to stop.
Yeah.
In-home nurse, on the deathbed, yellow eyes, bring me the bottle. I'm just not giving it up. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't for me.
Not for me.
If I fuck with anything, it's cannabis. But like, honestly, I just feel that the alcohol downside is high because I feel like my addiction potential is through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. And also objectively, the downsides of alcohol are very high.
Totally. But like I
objectively.
when I saw a video of you drinking with your wife and like you guys were having a good time,
Yeah.
that's probably like a net positive.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
And so I'm still capable of seeing drinking in a social setting
Yeah.
as being healthy. And I really don't like to talk about it because I don't want to sound like a puritanical asshole.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate the fitness moral superiority.
I know.
I don't drink. I'm fucking better than you.
Yes.
It's like, bro, I never drink.
It
I'm
comes
better
out
than
a
you,
lot.
loser. Oh, I'm sober now. I was always sober, pussy. Fuck you. I've
Yeah.
been sober for 30 years. I hate that. Alcohol is very real. It's a hard addiction to battle. It's ubiquitous in our culture. Most people use it okay.
Yeah.
I'm not better than you because I don't drink. But like, if you drink less, you'll probably have a much easier time with your health. That's like
100%.
literally all I would say.
Yeah. And especially if you value the food calories more than the alcohol calories, that's a
really
real
do.
game changer.
I
It's just-
value the food calories, bro.
I'd rather have the French fries than the alcohol. That's for sure.
I'm not gonna have 12 Diet Cokes too. It's literally 0 calories. I really like diet soda, so that works for me.
I have 3 more questions. All right. So the first one is, when you're looking at your entire training career in terms of your own workouts, what was your favorite time in your own workouts?
What period of my own training career did I have the most fun with?
Yeah.
In regards to like the like whatever chapter. Okay, so let's like rewind to 2015.
Okay.
Okay.
10 years ago.
Yeah, so at this point, it's 2014. So Obama's still president. I'm in high school, final year of high school. I have all the bodybuilding magazines. I have all the pre-workout. I spend my money
Which
on the
pre-workout
supplement.
was
Jack 3D, triple scoop, till my dick doesn't work. Not even kidding. Have you heard of Stim Dick? Have you heard of Stim Dick?
No.
I'm not going to ask your producer to look it up, but like if you take too many stimulants, it becomes very difficult to maintain an erection.
Really?
Look it up. Called Stim. When you're 16, 17, taking pre-workout, you know where you go for medical advice? The bodybuilding.com forums.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so he's like, no, dude, you have Stim Dick. You got to tone down the caffeine. And I was like, all right, well, I'm taking 3 scoops of Jack 3D. How fucking old are you? Bro, I'm 18. What are you talking about? No, I'm not really. I'm 16. I just got this at GNC. You need to switch to Driven Sports Craze. It has a different stimulant. You shouldn't be taking 1,3-dimethylamylamine. And like, I'm 15 years old. It's the Wild West. I am just pumped full of methamphetamine-laced supplements. I have infinite testosterone. And you guys, I don't know if you'll laugh at this or not, but I would go to the gym at like 4:30 in the morning because I wanted to go before school because I was like convinced if I were such trash, I never recovered from any of these workouts because I had 6th period sports. So it was like 4 a.m. workout, fucking school all day, not eating adequately, then go play your sport, then come home, do homework, not sleep enough, but you're in the routine. You're grinding. You're motivated, right? And I would go to the gym at like 4:45, and you know, you guys will laugh. You know that like super hunky dude who chops the wood?
Yeah.
Okay, he and I went to the same gym. So imagine me, I'm like 15. This dude's now really famous on TikTok. Because where I grow up, there's lots of logs to cut. He's not famous yet. I'm not an influencer yet. And I'm just grinding it out in the morning, and there's this dark, brooding guy. And I'm like, fuck, dude, he's hardcore. And so eventually he and I kind of became buddies, and he showed me how to lift like not an idiot. And I was doing, like, I laughed so hard. I was like flat bench plus flat flies, then incline bench into incline flies.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
decline bench into decline flies. No fiber in my chest, untrained. This is fantastic. Hold on. What if I did incline bench and decline flies. I'm gonna confuse the shit out of my chest. And like, I was over caffeinated, undereducated, over testosteroned, and like emboldened by other dudes who were pushing me and encouraging me. And it was fun as fuck. I wouldn't want to go back to it now, but like I think about that kid and I was like, bro, that kid was having fun.
You were just
he
having a
was pushing
blast.
too much weight.
Yeah.
I remember being like, if I put 225 on the bar right away, I think I can get it.
Yeah.
Because it's working up to 225. It's making me tired. So like 4 a.m., throw 225 on the bench. I'm going to get it for the first time. And I'm like, dude, that was so dumb, but also like really
So
fun.
fun,
And
yeah.
like, I enjoyed that. Like my initial time in fitness was like objectively kind of pointless and stupid and not really optimal.
Yeah.
And like all the kids now are so much more optimal, and that's cool. But like, you will never have that fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, dude, I love that.
You don't have that fun.
It was, I very much relate to that. That was a blast. It was just a great time just doing
broing
stupid
out.
shit.
And
yeah.
like I still keep in touch with the wood chopping guy.
That's
and I just think
awesome.
it's so funny how like so much has changed for both of us.
Yeah.
But we're like, we still work out.
I love
I'm like,
that.
I'm still doing curls how you showed me, bro.
That's amazing.
And like a weird guy to show you how to lift too.
Yeah.
Like, of all the people, like who's your lifter origin story? Your wife's thirst trap. Your wife's thirst trap. I'm like, babe, you know that guy with the wood who chops the wood? No, quit lying, you do. So that was fun for me. Like running into him in the morning, like getting a little bit of transfer of education and just
Yeah.
having like a little lifting buddy that I could look up to when I was young and needed that.
yeah.
That was cool. That was definitely my favorite chapter.
What are you scared of?
I am scared of a few things. Do they have to be personal or can they be existential?
You get to choose.
I'm a little scared of AI.
Okay.
And like, I want to be an AI optimist, but as I raise a son and I know how much agency matters and how much effort matters and how much pursuing something matters and ambition matters, I worry about a world where there's nothing to want to be. What will you want to be when you grow up? When an AI can be a doctor, can be a lawyer, can be a trainer even. And like, I know young men need something to pursue or
Yes.
else they really can come off the rails. And I fear that AI will usher in a level of convenience and disconnectedness that could make life a lot harder. I think it will be exceptionally powerful and like beneficial, like social media was for the first few years. But I genuinely believe the technology could be deeply problematic. And like, it is a meta fear that I have. Another meta fear, it's a political one, might be a little bit of a hot take. We haven't talked about Mr. Kennedy yet. But I look at how polarized we are as a country on some issues that I really believe we could be less polarized on,
Yep.
whether it's abortion or gun regulation. Like sensible solutions to these problems that don't strip anyone of their rights
Yep.
do appeal to a lot of people.
Yes.
But we end up 50-50
Yeah.
because of what we would maybe call hyper polarized partisanship.
Yeah.
If we get to 50-50 on vaccines, my friend, we are cooked.
Yeah.
That is my secondary fear.
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't sit here as like a staunch defender of the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. I know it had its inefficiencies and it doesn't perform the way other vaccines do. But most of our vaccines are super duper effective.
Yeah.
And the first time my kid got sick and had a rash breakout, I was fucking terrified that it was measles.
Yeah.
And like being here in Texas, I worry about something like that
Yeah.
proliferating. And I don't want to become a country that's hyper partisan on science.
Yeah.
That's like a loss for all of us. I think soft power is like like one of America's biggest secrets is something called soft power, which is the ability to be an influence and a leader without needing to do it militarily. And being a leader in science was always our greatest soft power. And I worry what that will do to us geopolitically if we walk away from it. But I truly worry about the increased proliferation of vaccine hesitancy because like I used to be an anti-vax person.
You were.
I did not want to get vaccinated in high school. I was like, I
Interesting.
need Tdap. I don't want Tdap. Oh, I Googled I can get a religious exemption. I don't want that shit in my body. I am all in on the forks over knives, vegan purity tests. My dad has this illness. I don't trust Big Pharma. Fuck that. And I have looked at a lot more of the data, and it just seems really apparent to me that these are a good technology.
Yeah.
And we should probably be investing more in them, not less. And like I was really encouraged by the mRNA advancements with regards to cancer treatments, and to see that taken away, it's disappointing me. And I fear that America loses its standing as a scientific leader in the world, and how that could affect our health. That's a secondary fear. Again, existential and probably not fitness. My personal biggest fear is getting Parkinson's disease. For sure.
Is that, you think you're more likely just because?
I don't think I have what my dad has.
Okay.
I don't think I'm strong like that.
Oh.
I want to be, but like, to be strong like that, like, that's my hero, bro. And like, I don't want that fight. I'm not ready for that fight. I don't think anybody is. But like, I've watched my hero fall, but in that same time develop a strength that like someone who's not fighting an illness will never have. And I don't want to ever have to put that armor on. That is a fight that I don't want. And I know there's a genetic link, so I do, that sits with me very heavily. That one day I'm going to be sitting with my son and my hand's going to start to shake. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I do not want that to happen, bro. I fear that day like no other.
Is there any genetic testing that you can do?
Totally. I could get checked for the polymorphisms in the genes, and like one thing that is not a surprise is that I have a direct paternal like line that has Parkinson's. So it's like, why even bother? Like, what are you testing for? The gene that you probably have? So like, as you've heard, genetics load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. What can I do? Even if I knew I had the gene, what could I do? What I'm doing right now, like try to have a good attitude, try to stay active, try to care for my brain. And like, I have to protect myself from that. And the best tools I have are the same tools I would recommend to my clients: diet and exercise. But it's a major fear, bro. Is
there anything specifically that you're doing that maybe your intuition tells you, hey,
yeah, I have a sauna, and I'm a pretty firm believer that the vascular health benefits from sauna, because of the sauna, I should say, from the endothelial expansion that you get from warm temperature, like, I think that could be uniquely beneficial for the brain.
I agree.
And it's a bit speculative and mechanistic, but I sauna almost every day for 20 days or 20 minutes. I'm like, a 20-day sauna.
I've been 20 days in.
I'm a fucking raisin. And I'll like do 25 minutes of cardio and jump in there. And I feel like it keeps my cardio going longer. It's like a little hack. But when I'm in there, I'm thinking like, I hope this does something for my vascular health, and particularly for my brain's ability to,
Do you try and meditate while you're in there or something? Or?
No, I read The Atlantic. I'm such a douche.
What kind of sauna do you have?
I have a Sisu sauna, which is a brand. The creator's a super cool guy. He's an ultra marathon guy and super active, just a hot cedar sauna. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the infrared because I grew up on the pour the water over it. If it ain't 180 degrees, I'm not sure it's working.
Agreed. Completely.
And so I do like a hot rock cedar sauna.
I'm 100%. We want to get a sauna here.
Why? You live in Texas.
Dude, I love the heat. I love saunas. The literal only reason that we haven't gotten one yet is because I don't know when I would find the time to use it. That's like the only thing. It is
very difficult. I will say it does seem like you do more after your children go down.
Yes,
and
correct.
A wonderful time to sauna is before bed.
Yeah,
because it will help you have a better core body temperature for sleep, to actually elevate it before it's strange.
Point. My wife is going to hate you because you just
she's not a
me to buy
sauna person.
No, just like
my
we don't
wife
need
doesn't
it.
Get in there with me. Well, we have a lot of things that we don't need, and like, it is important to balance your wants and your needs. And like, I want a sauna because I need to be around for my kids.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Right? I want a sauna because I need to do something for my vascular health. It's just another piece of gym equipment, and if you get a really pretty one, bro,
I'm gonna get a nice
and
one.
You should. It'll look wonderful. It'll look lovely on your property.
At the Sisu one.
It's just like, there's so many now, and like, I really think.
Is yours outdoors?
I has to be outdoors. Yeah, because like, I'm like worried I'm gonna heat it up and like walk into my garage.
Is it connected to
hardwired line? So it's connected right into my little panel.
Okay.
So like, you would probably need a dedicated hardwired line to run out underground and into the back. Do you have a pool? I didn't even see.
No, but we built out if we want to build a pool.
Okay,
so we have
put it wherever you're going to put your pool. But like, I would totally get one, and I would start doing it before bed, because I really believe, one, it could be something you do with your partner if she's open to it. Like, how nice would it be after the kids go down? Like, and you can still watch the babies from the sauna on the camera. Yeah. Like, hey, let's go spend 15 minutes in there together. Yeah. And like, maybe we meditate. Maybe we just talk. Maybe that's like our quiet time. There's nothing to do in here but talk, right? We're not scrolling. We're not streaming. just you and I, and that time is harder to find after kids.
Yeah.
She might love it, bro. You might be
She'll
like, I'm
hate it,
getting
but-
this. I'm getting this, so we have a place to connect.
Worst comes first, I could do some mobility in there. Or something.
Well, that I think would be tremendous. I do think if you elevate the tissue temperature, you'll get a better response from your mobility
Yes,
training. And
agreed.
like, I would imagine any mobility you do out of the sauna would be gently better in the sauna.
I agree completely. What are you excited about?
I guess like the simple answer would be, I get to watch my son grow up.
Yeah.
But like and like I have a life that feels like it's more abundant than I could imagine. But I think what I'm most excited about is I feel more content with who I am and just existing in the world as I am. Like I look up to you, but I don't need to be you. And I mean that respectfully. Like
Please, yeah.
there's just I found a degree of comfort and not pride, but like I belong in this world. Like I'm doing something of value, and I really feel like I'm excited to live my life with that confidence. Like I've a little bit stepped into who I am at 30, and I'm like, okay, I think it'll be better now. I maybe know who I am. I'm a little less conflicted. I'm a little less scared. And so I'm just excited to like continue to live with a little bit more wisdom and like a lot more to live for. So like, yeah, it's all exciting, bro.
Well, I think you are a great man, a wonderful role model. Where can people follow you?
Instagram is probably the main one. It's just my name, Danny Matrenga. I have a podcast with my buddies where we talk about a lot of this kind of stuff, sports, culture, politics, as well as fitness and nutrition. That's the Progressive Overload podcast. If you like instructional YouTube stuff, you can find me on YouTube too. But like I'd say mostly Instagram. If you want my like unhinged takes, threads. But yeah, you can find me on the internet.
Amazing.
You can also find me in my gym training clients. Like
Where's that?
in Sonoma County. But like I'm too busy to probably train you. But like if you really wanted to know where I was, I'll always be there working with somebody.
What's the name of it?
Core coaching method. But like the best part is like I'm there doing the work because it's still super satisfying like it was when I was 18.
Yeah.
And like that, maybe that's what I'm excited about. That I've just been so blessed to have like been given a chance to make a living doing something that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I just feel like we live in this age of like so much abundance, and I could have totally flamed out and failed.
Yeah.
But like
You have an amazing career.
everything's
that you love.
good. Like
Yeah.
why wouldn't I be excited? There's
Yeah.
challenges ahead, sure, but it's all good.
I love that, man. Dude, thank you for coming on.
Bro, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please make sure you follow Danny. We'll put the links to his social media in the show notes or on YouTube. If you like the podcast, please leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you're listening. Give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.